Let's do it. Members, check out the new emojis. They're all kinds of fun. Sound check. Why don't you go, Wolfgang, and go share the show, bro? Go share the show around. Let's get 200 people watching today. Boom.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Florida to the YouTube universe. Jose J.G. Gonzalez. No visible snakes today? We good. Then we are happy, thrilled, and excited to give you another episode. This one is Friday Festivities, your daily boom. As usual, we got these Fridays, all kinds of fun. The flag might be flipped, the flag might be black and white. Oh well, it's just a shirt. I don't want to know the disfiguration of the flag, you know. So please let me do all my. I'm gonna tell you on emojis what I'm going to do for a few minutes. Let me do some of my ranting on my of all this. This is not two necklace. This is a head Bluetooth and my little necklace. Hit that like or dislike, guys, please. There's a thumbs up and thumbs down that you can do. It's free, it's easy. All you have to do is click that like or click the dislike. That's the first thing that you should do. You should click the like, and if you don't like it along the way, just send a boop, changing it for a thumbs down, or vice versa. You can start with a thumbs down, and if you like what you hear along the way, then click the thumbs up. See? Now, there's a super chat rolling along the way right here that you should go check it out. On the description box under this video, you can find links for this is the membership link. That's very important that you gotta check. That's the first one. There's a link for my secondary channel just in case YouTube decides to take this one down. They're a little sketchy sometimes. There's a PayPal link along with an email linked to that PayPal link. There's a link for my Discord server, so go check out the Discord server. Let's bring it back to live. And then you scroll down, and here's where the fun begins. We got all the membership channels. So everybody that is a member on this channel, from the shoutouts and up, all the links are in the description box. Big shout out to the boss, Tweet Wheat, and the second boss, C4. Or is C4 the boss and the second boss is Tweet Wheat? They are just the boss. And then we got Kit with all access. Those three have their emojis on the bottom, the custom emojis. We got C4, Tweet, and Kit. Boom. Big shout out to the three of you, big supporters of the channel, and everybody else is a big supporter of the channel. We got the unlisted videos. I'm gonna take my time and shout you out, guys. So we got Digital Dabber, Ricky Baldwin, Mr. Victory, Tony Penfold, Leo, All People, Free People, Louis Hackett, and the newest is Walter Bisling. Walter Bisling, member of the channel, mind blown. Now, there is a few links that I have already shared with you on listed videos. Those has been after shows that I got recorded and saved, and they have been shared with the unlisted videos and higher memberships. And I will probably tonight, I will share another one and do a summary of all the previous ones that I have shared with you. And a big thank you to the valuable members. Everybody go check out right now on the custom emojis. We got all kinds of goodies right there. So big thank you to all these names that I'm going to shout out. All the links for their channels are in the description box. So if you hear a name of a person that you want to go check it out, you have heard them, just go check on the description box. RT96, Stringer News, GPS, Farmer's Boy, Rusty P, Mr. Gadget, Tears, Brainery, Adric, Howard, Gentle Channel, Sean Hawkins, B-Ball, Anamorphic Mind, Lori, Schrodinger's Cat, John Watson, Angel of Attack, Piperot, Bandit, Dora, Aussie, Globehead, Sean G, Random Explorer, Guy with Bearded Lizard, Daylight, Ohio, Point and Laugh, Sean Smith, Number 6, Island Moon, Hugo Perez, Brian Leakey, and Blue Marble Science. Big thank you to all of you. And what do we have over here? We got the non-troll members. That's the newest tier that I created. And the first one that became a non-troll member, 99 cents a month. Just that easy. If you guys think that you need some little flip-flops next to your name and you want to use the custom emojis in the chat, just 99 cents a month. You can become a member now. We got Wolfgang, Glover Mommy, Cratches Scratches, ZZ Curb, Professor Phil Bell, Auntie Hirvesalo, Carl Christopherson, WS, Good Servant, Barney, LA Gonza, D. Elmings, Danny D, Alfred Toro, and Grammy Price. All the non-troll members, thank you very much to everybody for supporting this platform in that level. I really thank you. Now, let's go to the business. Erebus have gone crazy throwing me links over here. What's going on, Erebus? What you got going on there, man? I'm so confused. I see C4 in the chat. Boom. He say, once upon a time, a P900 shot the ISS. We got Barack Obama there. Boom. Will Smith. Blah. Running, dodo. Kid. Tweet. Shout out to C4. I see my name tagging here. Sean Smith say that I am really Will Smith. Professor Phil Bell say, let's see what BS we can laugh at today. By the way, I have posted a new video. Nice, Professor Phil Bell. Excellent. Wolfgang say he did some advertising. Let's see if he had any effect. Well, shall see. Well, yesterday I went to Ranty Flat Earth for a little bit. How about that? For the first time in, I don't know, in a long time. I decided to, I decided to go to Ranty Flat Earth. Hey, we got John Watson in the house. Thank you, John Watson, for the super chat. You're confused, Jose? I slept in a rabbit hole. I didn't sleep in a rabbit hole. What brand of magnetic Bluetooth necklace is that? I want one. This is a very cheap. This is a cheap Bluetooth. I don't know what the name, what the brand. Well, we got the little thingy, and it's just become magnet. Keep it in the neck, you know. Hey, a little some. And now this little thingy, dude, it fits perfect. Oh, I got the it fits perfect, like loop de loop, and that little hook, it like grab right here. Oh, they're awesome. I like them. I like them a lot, bro. This is the ones that I'll be shooting. Now, when you're talking through them, the audio is but it's alright, it's worth it. To listen, decent quality, you know. So, Professor Phil Bell helped me on Ranty, heard me. I went to Ranty because he said like, hey, I see Jose in the chat. Let's invite him. Let's send him an invitation. And I went in. What was going to happen? I knew what was going to happen. The man of God and Right the Hand was there. Those are two of the only people that are blocked in this channel. The mind of God for his behavior, how nasty he is. He want to talk about the stuff that I don't like talking about in this channel. He want to talk about the politics, the money, about these big events. He want to talk about certain things that he is really interested in, but he wants to do it in other people's channels. Not my thing, you know, not my cup of coffee. And then his demeanor, like, shut up, like, sit down, like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. That thing, mind of God, is out. And then we got Right the Hand. As we all know, he's an overtalker. He's just hype, and just the overtalking. I mean, if you guys didn't see, Chong G had a one-on-one versus Right the Hand, and he had Slick James as a moderator, and Slick James decided to boot Right the Hand off the call because he was just disrespectful. It's not about who win, who lose. It's about who can have a discussion, a conversation. And in a group like this, Right the Hand is a no go in this type of shows. So they're both hurt. I went over there and I was just taking insults. I went, I said like, the way they treat me, I'm going to treat them. But something clicked. I said, I'm going to be the better man. I'm going to just go, is that your opinion? Thank you. And they're going to be like, you're a retard, you're a this, you're a that, you. And everybody be insulting me. And I go like, all right, good on you. Thank you. So I switched and I did that. I battle hate with love, you know. That's the way we do it. In the voice chat, we had Mind of God, Rakia, we have Piche at one moment, and they're all throwing me, insulting me big time in the chat. You can see in the chat all the flat earthers attacking me, insulting me, names, racist names, all that kind of shit. And I was like, all right, bring it on. Okay, good. So I mean, people see that. People see that. Ali B actually went and white knighted for me a little bit. Ali B, shout out to Ali B. No white knighted, but he actually spoke, his piece because everybody was misrepresenting, what I'm all about. And then actually Gleam also stepped up. And then I had to get out of there. When Gleam was starting something good, some diagrams, and I had to run because I had to take care of my family. So yeah, I just did a little bit. And why are you here then? You got nothing. I said, dude, Ranty invited me. Why am I here? Because Ranty sent me an invite. That's why I'm here. So yeah, I did like half an hour and I was happy with what I did. I think Carlos was there when I left. Yeah, that was it. I couldn't even hear no more. I went away and the other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, no, you wasn't. Yeah, Rocky Alive was in the after show. And when you was in the after show, I was over there. Rocky Alive, you should revisit Ranty show yesterday until I joined and just observe how toxic. If you want to talk about toxic chat, read the chat. All the flat earthers, read the way the flat earthers attacked me in the chat and the way I was treated in the voice chat. Dude, mind blown. Mind blown, bro. All right. Leo and Raki Alive are in the chat. I'm gonna send you guys the link. I'm gonna put the link in here if you guys want to join to listen, but we really would like to have. Yes, tweet with on Ranty Show. That was last night on Ranty Show. Yeah. Yeah, it was something else. It was something else. I was insulted like it was hatred, like so much hate. And then I just had in one I lost it. I lost laughing. I was laughing my ass off because man of God in one said like, well, all right, guys. So in the Nathan Oakley, we got the Nathan Oakley show. So in Nathan Oakley, the bowlers go over there and they're able to speak or participate. So he say he used some funny phrase. The man guy said like, yeah, because the borders can go to Nathan Oakley and speak or be heard. Dude, I lost my shit because it's the funniest shit I heard in a long time because we all know it's not that way. And I don't know, it was funny. I felt a little trolly, but overall, the whole thing, you're gonna hear me throwing a little bit of trolling comments in between, just answering a few questions, just saying like, don't want to talk about it. And you see the flat earthers speedballing, throwing, and attack, name calling, insults. And then I was there throwing my little troll, my little in between, like, okay, whatever you say. It's very telling. The people that saw that for the first time. Well, it is what it is. What we're gonna do now is gonna throw the link out there. We're gonna open the panel, but Raki Alive and Leo, I think last night you guys agreed to have a little combo over here in the top of the show. So we shall do that. We are going to invite Leo and Raki Alive to join the show, and you guys have the floor. If anybody else want to join, please join and mute yourself, and we wait for the two gentlemen to finish their little combo, and I think it should be good. Let's see if we get a little bit of a money rolling over here. A few super chats or members. 99 cents membership. Come on, nobody? All right, I guess. I don't check my PayPal often unless somebody tell me, go check your PayPal. So just in case. Hey.
Hello.
Oh. Hello.
Ricky? Ricky, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How's my mic?
Yeah, maybe we'll speak a little bit. We will fix up. It's a little weird.
Oh, hang on. I gotta turn off YouTube.
There you go. That was it. Hey, look at that. Kit just hit me up with a $10 super chat. Thank you for your generosity, Kit. They really wanted to make you angry, and you just kept laughing, and it was so funny. Great job, Jose. Thank you, Kit. Yeah, I know they wanted me to lose my shit because if I answer back the way they behave, they react, they if I call them the same names that they call me, even in the same breath within 2 seconds of difference, oh, Ranty probably would have stopped me or booted me, or they'd be laughing like, yeah, here's the show we wanted. They just wanted me to lose my shit, and I didn't. I actually kept my cool, and I did really well. Sean Smith, does this thing work? Boom. Thank you, sir. All right. One day we'll get a $100 super chat from Rakia like he did to Nathan this morning. Boom.
Yeah.
Rakia and Leo, the floor is yours, gentlemen. You wanted to have a little combo? I will mute myself. If anybody join, please join and stay on mute. You can interact in the text chat inside the Google Meet, but the voice will just want to hear Leo and Rakia. I will jump in if he get too like pressure, and let's say if Leo doesn't allow Rakia to finish his statements or his points, I will jump in. Now, if it's like an actual discussion, we interrupt each other normally. So I'm going to let it roll unless I see abuse of somebody interrupting each other. As for right now, Rakia and Leo, it's up to you guys.
And if it's boring, I'll jump in.
No, don't do that.
You have to be 6G to jump in there, Carlos.
Yeah, I think Lil and I can get along on this subject for sure.
All right. Hopefully you don't mind if I'm going to try not to get emotional, because sometimes I do, and that is not conducive to having a good discussion. But at the same time, if I ask a question that I don't feel is being answered, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire.
Yeah,
if that's okay.
Yeah, just as long as we understand, I don't have all the answers. I'm not that guy. I'm gonna speak my mind or speak my heart, especially on this subject. And everybody loses it. I lost my cool yesterday twice, both on this subject, like on flat Earth. It had nothing to do with work or business or family. It was the subject. So things get the best of us at times.
All right. So since we're talking about the Bible, it's recorded in Genesis chapter 1, verse 12, that it says, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass, herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And then in Genesis chapter 2, by the way, this is the King James Version.
Yeah, I was going to ask. That's what I use the most.
Is there silence or is it me?
No, there's silence. I'm just trying to find a verse.
I got to set up the other laptop because the dogs be barking and they activate the little bar on the mute thing. But we good. Everything is live.
Right. Maybe the dogs want to ask Ricky a question.
Yeah.
And then in Genesis 2, verse 8, it says, the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put man whom he had formed. So my question to you is, from those two verses, how would you interpret the creation of the trees and the plants?
Are you asking me if they came first?
No. I'm asking you by what means did God create things?
I got you. I'm a big believer in frequency. He spoke us into existence. So I think everything that is made, everything on Earth, trees, metal, humans, down to the cells, everything is frequency based, can be made and destroyed by certain frequencies.
So I'm confused. Are you a literalist or not a literalist as far as the Bible's concerned?
Consider myself a literalist. I would say I tell people every word in the Bible is true because that's what I believe. But there are parts of the Bible that have, he'll he says I'm the bread of life or whatever. Obviously, he's not a loaf of bread. He's just using a figure of speech. Or when they puts like or as in front, we all know what that means. But
So
I do
go
believe
ahead.
that the words of the Bible were written through men from the inspired word of God, the
So
creator.
if I could try to interpret that in a different way, you believe that God gave man revelation and man wrote it down the best that he could with the knowledge that he had.
I wouldn't say the best he could. I think God is the creator of everything, so he created man in his image and created all the languages. So that came later when he separated the languages, but um, you know, he knew every word, so he knew what words he was giving men to write down. And at that point, man was as close to God as they could get, but they fell, from the beginning of time, man fell short, and that's when sin was brought in.
Okay. So in Genesis 1:12, do you feel like the word seed there, like the herb yielding seed and all the different types of vegetation yielding seed, do you feel that is properly interpreted by saying that God planted seeds and the vegetation grew? Is that a good interpretation or a bad interpretation?
Not. I mean, I think he could have created the seeds. I mean, of course he could have. I've never looked at that particular verse and wondered if it was, he created just the plant or the seeds or the process or whatever. I just know God can do all things. So
Okay.
however he did it is fine with me. If man wrote it down wrong or over the time the how it's been interpreted and how different worldviews have been put onto God's word, um, that is because of man doing that. Not of of course, I would say God knew what he was doing.
Right. So if I understand you correctly, then what you're saying is that the verse 11 in Genesis chapter 1 is literal, except you're not exactly sure the process by which God used, whether he had a full-grown tree and just planted it, or he used seeds, planted the seeds, and they grew. Is
I would
that
say
correct?
I would say that's fair. Is that 112 you said?
No, 111.
111. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm on my phone, so
And then also in 2:8, it said God planted a garden eastward in Eden. And I'm using 111 for an example of God using seeds to plant plants.
yeah,
But
I got you.
if that's not,
Seed bearing plants and trees.
right, if that's not necessarily how you would interpret that's fine.
I think that
Um,
verse is talking about the plants and the trees, but you can use you know you can use the circle of life basically is a lot of the creation stuff.
yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
Um, are you a strict 24-hour a day, 6-day creation person?
Yes.
You are. All right. In Genesis 1, it goes through 6 days, and then on the seventh day, God rested. Um, and in day 6, He creates man. Um, in Genesis 2, and verse 4, it says, "These are the generations of the heaven and the earth when they were created in the day that God, the Lord God, made the earth and the heaven." Okay, so my question there, well,
Heavens.
no. The
He,
first thing I want to bring
he,
out
he,
is,
let me stop you there. Heavens.
oh, heavens, you're correct, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so the word day there is the same word day used in chapter 1, which is Yom.
Okay.
But this, actually, would you interpret that verse as saying God is saying all of those 7 days were done in one day? Or how would you interpret that?
I might have misheard you. I believe each day of the creation was a day in itself, and I think that is the day as we know it now, one circuit of the sun, because he told us that the sun was for time and seasons, the sun
Mm-hmm.
moon were for time and seasons. So I think that's how we began our keeping of time, was by the sun, and we just man made time what it is today with mechanical clocks, or you could have given it an hour, or you could have called it 1 ton, right? 1 ton being whatever you want to call it, noon being whatever. Man could have put whatever label on that he could have, but time is still the same based on the circuit of the sun.
All right, so I'm kind of confused because in verse 4 of Genesis chapter 2, it makes it sound like all the 7 days were created in one day, because it says, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens.
Yeah, because the first day was when he made the earth and the heaven. That day, the very first day, he made the heavens and the earth. And the earth in the Bible, in the King James Version, is land only. So it doesn't mention much about water in the first day, but I believe everything is water. Like the realm, if you will, is a fluid. And he rose the earth, which is land only, out of the waters that he created underneath what he created on day 2. When he separated the waters on day 2 with the firmament, that's how I believe it's done.
You mean in verse 7 where it said, in chapter 1, verse 7, where it says, "And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament," and it was so?
Right. And that's telling me that there was waters all around. Then he separated the waters with a I'm sorry, are you there?
Yeah, you kind of cut out.
Yeah, I got a phone call, but I canceled it. So when he separated the waters with what he called the firmament, and all through the Bible, he mentions the firmament, beginning, middle, and end of the Bible, and he describes what it's made of, what sits upon it. They reference it as a dome structure. They reference it as a solid object because it's holding back, I might have to take this. This is a delivery that I'm getting on a job site, but let me walk out.
Take a minute. Yeah, take a minute, answer it. Well,
No,
If
go
you
ahead.
need,
I'm still on.
yeah. All right. Because I got a question for you. Super chat. I didn't want to, uh, interrupt, your line of thinking, but
Let,
this is an interesting
I'll
question.
be right back. I'll be
Okay,
right
good.
back.
Good. Go ahead, man. I'll ask you shortly when you come back. Thank you everybody for being here. If you just checked in, please click that like or dislike. It's not, I mean, it's free, it's easy, it's doable. And you can check on the membership. You can support this channel for as low as 99 cents a month. So if you got $1, throw it over there for a membership. You can have some flip-flops next to your name, and you got access to all kinds of emoji. Look at that. We got Will Smith is Barack Obama. We got the dodo here. We got a P900. So the ISS and flat earthers be running. Boom. And then we got the boss, tweet. We got the boss, C4, and then we got Kit emojis in the house. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get a mic check from the other gentlemen. What do you guys think so far? Good? Al K, mic check. What's up? Carlos Pagani is also here. Farmer's Boy.
Sorry, was busy.
Sorry. And Sean Smith is here. We just, I mean, as for, yeah. I'm going to reshare the link. I'm going to reshare the link in the chat. If anybody want to come in, and then we'll continue. I know Rakia Live and Lael wanted this little combo. And I appreciate you guys to being patient. You know, I run the show for like 3 hours. We just began, so we're all right.
Well, it'd be nice if they can get it out of their system and then we can start talking about reality again. That'd be nice.
So good. Carlos, you were on ranting yesterday a little bit too, right?
I tried, but everybody kept talking. I was trying to ask, what's his name, Gleam, and I was trying to be nice. I wasn't going to start yelling or anything, because he kept showing that stupid drawing, this diagram.
You know what you know what I would have liked yesterday? A taste of my own medicine. So Chris Berry say I had it, and not really. I had a 1 versus 10 insulting, name calling, insulting, disrespecting me, and I was chill, laid back, trolling back, but not insulting, not disrespectful. I wasn't at all. You can go revisit and see who was the disrespectful party. Boom, Rocky Alive is back. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you this question, and then you guys can continue. This is from the Mind of God. I think the Mind of God was the first ever super chat that I got in this channel, so shout out to him for that. What does Rakia think is the mark of the beast?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Windows 95.
Yeah, all right, Carlos. We are hold on, Rakia. We are back to just Rakia and Lael, so no more trolling. Relax. Rakia, go ahead, man.
You want me to answer that? I don't know. There's many speculations about it. It seems like the current situation we're in with them wanting to put a label, a tattoo or thing under our skin seems to fit some of the biblical stuff, but as a man, I'm not sure. I don't think we'll know until I just don't know if we can know that.
Got it. Yeah, interesting. Now, Stringer News asked me one question. I'll answer this, and I'll let you guys do it. Stringer News. It was Adam Morfield. He gave me $300 super chat once. Holy shit! Then he left. He said, "Now enjoy your $2 super chat, Jose." I said, "All right, peace, man. I'm not gonna just allow you to troll the show and be disrespectful and just do whatever you want just because you give me money." So yeah, he left. He haven't given me $1 super chat since, and I am happy about it. Let's carry on, Rakia and Leo.
Yeah, go ahead, Leo.
All right. So you talked about the dry land appearing. In that verse, it almost seems like God, brought all the waters together, and so you could say at that time that all the oceans were one ocean, so to speak, if you will, and it almost seems like all the land was one continent, if you will. Would you agree with that? Nakia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was on mute. I would say there's some evidence to that. With the dividing of the continents, it doesn't tell us that it was all one land. He just tells us that Earth was the land only. So now we call Earth, the spherical model as a whole, but that's not what the biblical terms mean or what was said in the Bible, whether you believe it or not.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because in verse 10 it says, and God called the dry land earth,
Correct.
which to me is like saying the dirt we do call earth. Colloquially, we do call that earth.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be I don't really bash anybody. I mean, I would never say you're wrong if you call, because people say, could God have created a spinning sphere? Well, yeah, of course he could have, right? So if he called that, if he created that and that's true, that's the truth, and he called that earth, I'm fine with that. I don't question what God did. I only question how man interprets it, including myself. I question myself a lot. But I think the Bible is telling me that the earth, there was water, as you said, maybe one large body of water. I think it's even more than that. Everything was water. He rose the land up, and then he separated the waters with a firmament, and then the land was above the waters below, and then there was waters above the firmament still. So, and it's also referenced in the flood account. I believed all my life almost until about 5 years ago about the flood account being 40 days of rain. Well, when you study deeper, it wasn't just the rain, it was the vaults of heaven, which was the firmament opening up, and the vaults of the deep opening up and letting waters in. So that's how I think the flood happened. That's what the Bible is telling me how the flood happened, not just rain of 40 days and 40 nights. And go ahead, Lel. I'm going to be on mute for just about 5 minutes or a minute. I'm sorry.
Do you need?
Yes, I'll try to,
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
Just
because,
go ahead.
oh, okay, so you're listening, right? Go, Leo. We got Professor Phil Bell. Want me to play his video for a little bit, but I think we're good today. If I do that, I might do it tomorrow, if whatever.
Jose, I need
Yep.
to click my thoughts a little bit, and maybe we can pick this up another day. Okay?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's fair. Yeah.
to, like, feel around, see where he was at, and then collect those thoughts, and maybe come back another day. And so if the rest of the panel wants to jump in, that's fine. If more
That's cool.
people want to come in the call, that's fine.
Yep. We'll open it up.
Is that okay with you, Rakia?
Yeah, I'm good with anything. I can say a couple of things that I wanted to say, and then we can go to the open panel or whatever.
Yep.
I'm fine with it.
Sounds like a plan. Yep.
So a couple of things that I've learned over the last couple of years in my biblical study. I don't think any man can ever know everything, and including the Bible. There's been scholars that study the Bible, go to seminary all their life, and get things wrong. And admittedly so. And that's what a man does. A real man is going to admit when he's wrong and try and correct it and so forth and so on. But one thing I've learned lately is one of the things I like to bring up, your dad brought up actually, and that's when God he establishes an up and a down, as he says heaven is up, and he tells us it's above the north, which I believe it's above Polaris, the light, the only constant star. And then he's looking down on earth. He looks down on us like grasshoppers. It means we're smaller due to perspective, whatever. But he uses, as the creator of all languages and all words, he uses words like circle to talk about as he's looking down on the earth, or his creation is what he says, that he created a circle, which we all know that could be a dinner plate or a pizza, if you want to reference that, just to know what I'm talking about. And then in the same book, the same author talks about what a ball or a sphere is. So they definitely knew what a sphere was and definitely knew what a circle was. So I don't think they got that part wrong. It might be interpreted wrong or translated wrong, or, you can say the Bible's not true all you want, but that is what the Bible says. So that's one of the main points. We talked about the firmament. My name is Rakia. That's the root word for, Rakia is what the firmament means. It's a hard dome-like structure. describes it as a molten looking glass. It talks about it being a mirror. It talks about it holding back waters from below and above. So I think it's more like a bubble. It goes underneath also. Not many people think about that. So I think there's waters on the outside of everywhere. So the dome, that would be like a bubble around us or a sphere around us. And he tells us that's where he put the sun, moon, and stars in their circuits above us. And that's what we see. When I look up, I see everything moving above me, the clouds, the sun, moon, and stars. Now, how it all works with the light and the structure above us and the mediums that it's in, I don't think any man can ever figure that out. I think it's too complex. It's like light. I think light just is.
The man of God, wait, Rakia. The man of God, I'm gonna give you a chance today, but you have been blocked other times just due to your behavior. So just relax, start fresh, and let's have some fun today, man.
Okay, sounds good, man.
Rakia.
Hello.
Hello.
Never mind. I lost my train of thought. I was
That's
going to
okay,
ask
bud.
you a question
I
about
want to
something.
make a. Oh, never mind. Go ahead, Leo.
Oh, when you're talking about interpretation, do you think it's important in reading the Bible to understand the cultural context of what's being said?
Absolutely.
Okay. And
Context
then,
is a huge part.
do you think, well, as I understood what you were saying, when you're talking about the firmament, you're referring to the firmament. Well, we call it, sometimes the joke has been it's like a snow globe, but in the way you just described it, that snow globe has a top and a bottom. Am I misunderstanding what you said?
I just think it surrounds us. How it does it, like it might be just a sphere above us that gives us our sky shape and be a bottom for our floor. I don't know. Man has never gone down more than 8 miles, so it's hard to know what would be under us. I just that's how I perceive it. When I read the scriptures based on the firmament and what it tells me it's doing and what it's made out of and what's in it, who's above it, who walks on it. It tells me it's a solid structure for the most part. Could it have? It definitely tells me there's liquids above, and it definitely tells me there's waters below. If that's the seas, he mentions the seas in a separate reference. So, there's some interesting studies on what helium does at high altitudes and low temperature, turning into a blue light crystal and a hard structure that can't be, has some unbelievable melting points and things like that. I haven't done that myself. I've only seen these studies. So if it's true or not, I don't know. But that starts to make sense because that's using up some of our gases to make the structure and replenish it or revive it. It's all in cycles, I believe. We're a dynamic system. Everybody agrees with that. The gases, I would believe, have to be used up or released in some way, because if not, it has to be recycled or it build up so much pressure. If a container builds up pressure, it's going to bust open. It would let loose. So that gas pressure has to be released somewhere. I believe that's one way it could be doing it.
Okay, so many times in talking to people who believe the earth is flat, when you say earth, you're not talking about the planet, you're talking about land masses and them appearing to be, relatively speaking, flat or level.
Let me answer that part.
Is that a correct would you agree with that interpretation as far as what you're saying, that you believe?
Well, let me answer that part. We get caught up in flat earth. I've more than once said that I don't believe the earth, the land only, is flat, right? I mean, there's undulations, but our elevations are based on sea level. what I'm saying is it's not a sphere, I guess is the best way to say it. So it's
Hey guys,
a plane with the Earth having elevation. I'm sorry. Was it?
yeah, no, it's okay. Maybe let's just open, for everybody to kind of chime in and get the open panel. Let me read this one super chat and then we can move on. I had Stringer News hit me up with 99 cents a few minutes ago. Thank you, sir. And he just gave me a $5 super chat. Thank you, Stringer News. And he said, Christians, Jews, and Muslims take trips to the Holy Land. Why don't flat earthers make pilgrims to where the firmament meets the flat earth? What do you think about that comment? Anybody?
Difficult to make a pilgrimage to somewhere that doesn't exist.
That's pretty funny.
Now, the last one, GPS. I'm going to read this one, and if I get a few super chats and there's a topic going, I'm not going to just interrupt quick. I'll wait for a little break. But let me read this one now. We're on it. GPS, thank you, sir. Rakia, where can we read those helium studies? Boom.
I did have a comment that as a Christian Glover, I do think that the Hebrew cosmology, and they did believe that the Earth was flat.
Okay, that's good to hear.
How dare you talking some truth, Carlos?
Yeah, that's man.
If you look
I'm
at
gonna
it,
get emotional.
if you look at what
I'm gonna
they wrote,
start crying. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
but that's religion. We're here to talk science,
no, I'm just saying that it's I'm not going to argue that they seem to believe that there was some flatness to it, and there was perhaps
Absolutely.
something about them. So that
Cthulhu is sleeping in Rylea, which is in the deep. So the deep bit.
Oh,
Could be
hell,
deep in that
Cthulhu.
Mars, I don't know.
Carlos, one thing you have to realize is most of the Israelites hadn't traveled that far, or the people we claim to be Israelites haven't been traveled that far, so they could have the idea like Israel's pretty flat. Yes, it has mountains and stuff, but to them it would seem pretty flat. So that's all they would know. That's how they would.
Leo, what are you talking about, man?
I'd like to comment on that too.
Leo, what the hell are you saying? They're Israelites who stopped the sun in its orbit. What do you mean? What are you saying, man?
I would like to comment on that too.
Israelites did not stop the sun.
Joshua did in the book of Joshua.
And he also turned it back
That
15
was not
degrees.
Israelites who did that.
Joshua's
that
an
was
Israelite.
God.
Joshua's an
Right,
Israelite.
right.
God is reported to have done that, not the Israelites.
Joshua did that in the presence of God.
Let Man of God give his comment, and Rakia Live want to comment on it too.
Okay, sorry.
No, you and then Rakia, whatever, I know Rakia want to comment on that point that Leal did.
I think he was going to say the same thing I did.
Well, I'm definitely going to say that there is scripture saying that the sun and the moon were stopped in their tracks to complete a day of battle, and they prayed to God to do that, and that was one of the miracles that was performed and documented. And it also, the sun, I believe it was the sun was turned back 15 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. But one thing I wanted to comment about the Israelites is these were people that were closest to God, and in God's, the earth is it's not billions of years old. So if they lived during Jesus's time, they knew more, and they were closer to God than we'll ever be, or ever can be. And so I think they knew best. That's why, the word of God is documented. So that was their whole life, was to write down that word and keep it as best they can. And they gave up their life. They risked their life in many cases and went through great tribulation to protect that word.
Hold that thought, Leil. I know you want to speak. Rakia, there was a question that I don't think you heard. It was, where can we read those helium studies?
Oh yeah, I just Googled it. Google helium low temperature, high altitude on Google, and it'll bring the study right up. It tells you. I don't know if I can post, but I just Googled it, and it was the first thing that got brought up.
There you go, GPS. You got it now.
Very interesting. And also the Russians way back when were discovering the firmament. Also the U.S. were were doing studies on the firmament. You can look it up. They use the word firmament. Now people say it can be
Nobody's
used
discovered the
loosely.
firmament.
Well, before I was cut off, I was going to say they use the word firmament to mean the sky. So I'm not saying they couldn't have used that, but they definitely used a biblical term to describe their study.
Yeah,
That
Rocky,
is-
a quick. Sorry, farmers. Then you go after.
Yeah, whatever.
Because Mind of God and Right the Hand, they were yesterday. You should hear that ranty interaction. There was a point that I felt so frustrated, but it just gave me some peace for some reason, because I said, like, this is like mind-boggling when people don't know a person and they just make some very harsh accusations. They say like, whatever, F Jose, what he's doing is an act, and he's using his family to whatever and whatever. I mean, like they really insulted personally my family. When the guys that follow me, you guys know that they came over here in February, and the people helped me here in the chat because I'm broke and I got no money. So the people helped me. We got my parents over here since February to escape from the earthquakes. And now I'm glad that they were here through these health issues going on. You know, they're going to go back on Monday, but there were accusations like, bullshit, it's an egg, and you were using your parents. You heard my little chat with my dad. I mean, and I every once in a while I keep following up. What do you think? Tell Man of God, he has no idea what went down there.
Well,
Jose, my family.
Just to be fair, I didn't say anything about your family.
Yeah, it was Right the Hand, I think.
Yeah, but and so I didn't watch that hangout. So I just resub recently. So I'm not defending him or promoting what he said in any way. That's his view. I think a lot of that though is motivated by probably not you so much, but people like Red's Rhetoric who make up stories. Oh, my car crashed, and do 3-hour hangouts to pay for his rent. So yeah, I mean So if I know anything about your family.
Before Rocky answer, you know what the beauty about this and about myself, that since day one, people have followed me where I am. I have lost an uncle and an aunt. That was a year and a week ago. Last week there was the year anniversary when they died. That same day, bro, from my mom and dad's side. Everybody's following all the issues with my personal issues with my partner and everything, So that's the beauty about me, one being honest and open with the people, because this is just a little show that I got. Do I got a lot of people viewing and a lot of people follow it? Yes. And people like the format, but the good thing is that I'm always open, and when stuff is said about my family like that, bro, it's harsh, but I mean, I got thick skin. When you're on the internet, you're gonna get attacked here and there. Rakia, what do you think, man? Just Man of God, an idea, because there are no.
I was gonna say, me and you have talked about that, and you know how I feel now, and it's tough, it's toxic sometimes, but when they cross the line and tell you your kids should be taken from you because of your beliefs. I had a comment last night at midnight. This guy, Danny D, I'm going to call him out. He commented at midnight last night and was telling me I should bring my kids and my family and introduce them to everyone because I've talked about it, whatever. He has no business talking about my family. None whatsoever. Yeah. I would never do that to him, and I would, when you are living with your sister, I gave you money because, we're no matter if even our enemies we're supposed to pray for and help and
right.
That's the way I feel, and it's not like I'm gonna support something that I don't think is going in the right direction or leading people in the right direction. But I guarantee you, you've given me a platform today to express my opinion about what I feel strongly about my faith, and I would never attack anyone else's faith, and I trust that they wouldn't do that to mine because it's very important to me. When I go and tell someone, well, what you think, what you're basing your whole worldview on is wrong, I expect them to get upset, right? That's why I don't do that. I try and say, this is my worldview, and let's discuss it and see if we can come to a conclusion. But they attack. Yeah. It's like they're only a offense,
Right.
Yeah, but it's all right. We got people like Pichet. Every baller comes across as a low-down snake and liar. And I know what Pichet is made of, and I follow him, and I appreciate his opinions. It's all right. I don't care. Because I'm not even a baller. I'm just a host. I'm just a host of the show, and I just got an open panel.
Jose, the one point that we don't, I'm not sympathetic about people, about, for example, what George Natchik did going after a person's career. If somebody doesn't actively speak out against that, then to me that person's an enemy. So we did not hear.
Yeah, but that should be that should be with the
point.
person. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me finish my point.
Yeah.
I agree. I strongly agree with what you said at the beginning of this about family. This is just a debate. This is nothing serious. No one is going to get hurt. We don't want that. No family stuff. I agree with you, man. This is not, we can't start acting like animals on these hangouts. And so, yeah, but what George did is actually even more sinister because he's meddling with a person's career, their ability to eat, their kids and all that kind of stuff. So we cannot, you can believe that the earth is a ball, fair enough, but that doesn't mean that you go into somebody else's real life and potentially restrict their ability to survive, and
that's right. I appreciate that. And it's the way you feel, the way you think things should be done. But if, for example, you disagree with what George did, if he did anything, then you got to deal with him when he's sitting in the panel. You go to his channel or he goes to yours. So yeah, and in other places, if you guys want to engage with it. But I think I try to leave all these big personal feuds that happen somewhere else with somebody else, because we are here to talk about topics that we can deal with, not about a third person.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm on a job site right now, Jose, that this client of mine that I've had for 7 years or so was contacted about 8 months to 11 months ago by someone, and I would say from your chat way back when, because you're the only chat that I used, that I would go to that was on the Glober side. I never really went into anybody else's channel. And so I would just assume it was from your chat. I'm not blaming you. It just seemed coincidental at the time. I'm getting attacked by these people, and then my clients are being called, and they're telling my client that I'm crazy because I think the earth is flat. Well, just this client just happens to think we're in a simulation, right? So he doesn't know if it's flat or round, but he believes in the simulation theory. He's an Australian, and I don't, right? But we don't argue and fight. We're good buddies. We're business. We do business together. We make each other money. So, but for that person to take their time out of their day, look up my client, how they found that out. But then to take the time and call this person and call me out by name and say I was crazy. That is crazy in itself.
Yeah. Let me earlier. Farmer's Boy. I didn't forget about you, but we skipped you big time. You were gonna say something kind of the actual main topic. Go ahead, man.
I was going to try and bring us back to reality because we've gone so far into fucking la la land. It's unbelievable.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Let's have some evidence of this dome firmament, please. Distances, what it's made of. How we can put spacecraft through it without even noticing it, how we can put satellites in orbit, the ISS in orbit, put man on the moon, probes on Mars, probes on Venus, send something to the sun. And in all that time, in 70 years, we've never once bounced into anything. Why is that?
Farmer's Boy, what do you think that the space goes on for infinity? What happens at the interface, at the boundary?
Who knows? We'll never get there because it's constantly expanding. Next question.
That's an absurd answer. You can't just say,
no, it's not.
No, that's insane because all of our
that's insane coming from somebody who believes in a sky.
One second. All of our discussion here is about things that are real and physical, right?
No, well, not so far. They're not. No.
Okay, well then, why don't we talk more about God then?
No, that's the whole point. You've been talking about bloody God. He doesn't even. Which God? Which God are you talking about?
I just want to frame the discussion as things that are tangible and physical, right?
Yes.
That's what we're here. Right. Okay.
Yes.
So. To say that we're never going to get there, you see how that's not really a physical answer, right?
No, it's a perfectly physical answer. The universe is expanding. How are we going to get there?
At that interface that you claim is physical, what happens there?
Don't know. Who knows?
Okay, well, you realize that's a stupid answer.
No.
Okay, well...
It's the only answer you can give. It's the only answer you can give.
The question is faulty because by the time you would travel there...
Leo, separate a little bit. Leo, separate a little bit from the mic.
Yeah. Your
mic a little further away from you.
Yeah. But what's the ball response to that answer to that question? There's got to be one, right? Otherwise, your model's then complete.
Yeah,
didn't this start off with Farmer's Boy asking the questions? How is it all of a sudden he's the one having to provide
answers?
Because
that's what they do. Because they've got.
Well, Mind of God's making a point. Obviously, you don't understand.
Farmer's not making a point. The point was that you've been talking about all this fruity la fantasy stuff. He wanted to bring it to something tangible himself.
Correct. Right.
And the tangible
Yeah.
thing he wants to discuss
I
is
was
what do
asking
you
about
have?
the
What is the
firmament, and you go
tangibility
straight to the edge
that
of the
you can
universe.
offer? The evidence that you can
Okay.
offer?
Okay, the boundary is physical. It's just we debate how far it is. That's the models agree. We don't think that things go on forever. That's non-physical, right? That doesn't
Did I
make
not
sense.
ask about the firmament?
Yeah, we both believe there's a quote firmament. It's just a different distance away.
No, we don't. I don't.
Okay, so what is the end point for your reality then? What do you want me to call that? A firmament or what?
Let's stick to what we're fairly sure about at the moment. Let's stick to the solar system, shall we? We don't need to go galloping to the edge of the universe because none of us know what's going on there because it's too bloody far away.
But we know
And
we can find it.
neither
That's my point.
can we know what's going on in the firmament.
Exactly.
What firmament?
You can't. We can't get there, just like you can't get to the end of
What
that wherever you
firmament?
say your end is.
What
No.
firmament?
So if our question is ludicrous, your question is also
I
Exactly.
keep asking you,
No.
what's the firmament?
You're
Yes.
making a
You
claim
give me
of
an answer.
something
You
tangible.
just said you don't know the edge
You-
of your atmosphere, your environment, and we say we
No.
don't know. We
Exactly.
haven't done that either.
That's not what I said at all, and you know that's not what I said.
Okay, so
because
reword
you
it,
can't
sorry.
give me a fucking answer.
So your answer
Try
is,
not
oh,
to
it's too
swear.
far.
Try not to swear.
Your answer is like, oh, it's too far. Boo hoo, I can't get there. I'll
What's
say the
your
same
answer?
thing.
I asked you what the firmament is, and you instantly went straight away from that and went to
I
the edge
asked
of the
you, it's the
universe.
same thing that we see out. So I'm asking you, what do you think it is?
There is no firmament.
I'm saying, what is the extent when we look out that
No,
blue
I
thing,
asked you
what is
what
that?
the firmament was, and you straight away went straight off from that question
It's
and asked
too
me a
far, and I
question.
don't know what
You
it is.
couldn't give me a bloody
I gave you
answer.
the same answer you gave. It's too far, and you don't know what it is. Fair enough. So why are you getting all emotional?
We can use your exact words to answer your question to us as you answered
But you
our
keep
question.
claiming
We can
there's a
use it.
firmament, and there are things
You
within
keep
it, and there are
claiming
things
there's
outside
infinite.
it. So
You
where
keep
is it?
claiming there's an into space. You claim that.
Yes.
I didn't
You claim.
I think that's putting limits to God. I think it's infinite.
What the? Carlos, go on
What's God got to
mute.
do with it?
Carlos, go on mute.
Wait, guys, 1 second. Man of God, try not to do that. Tell
Okay.
people to shut up
All
and
right.
go on mute because
All
that's
right,
very
sorry.
annoying. Like for
All
real.
right.
That's what he always
Carlos,
does.
don't
Now,
go on mute.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
let me try. Let me figure this out from a neutral point of view, right? So if the universe is expanding infinite and you don't know what the ends are, at least you know that. I mean, if the globe side, please tell me if I don't want to misrepresent the globe side.
No,
So
you're
you
fine.
know, that this end of the universe is past, at least it's past the sun and the moon and all the stars and the galaxies and all that stuff. Is that fair? Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the flatter. Now what Chirac say? Like we don't know what it is. We don't know how far it is. Is it further or past the sun, the moon, the stars, and the lights in the sky that we see? Is it past that or not? You should know that at least.
The sun, if it's physical, then you could deem it as being some outer bound to the sun. But if it's just something going on outside of that, we don't know. So like I don't want to word that in such a strict way because I would need to know properties of the sun itself. You know, and I don't have those
We already
answers.
know that.
Well, you guys haven't. That's fine. I respect your stance. I'm saying I don't. So
Notice how he didn't actually answer your question,
Correct.
Jose.
what was the question?
No, I was trying to rephrase it. Do you think, or are you either no, or do you think that the sun, the moon, the stars, the galaxies, all the lights in the sky, including the sun and the moon, whatever, let's say there's lights in the sky, are they further away past the firmament or inside the firmament for what we see? I think that's fair.
Those are things. Those are lights and all those things. That's not outside the clouds, though. That's physical. So yeah, I mean, there's something outside, you know, that is greater than the clouds, and the blue stuff that is above us looks like that's water.
I would
So
like to
wait,
clear something
That's
up.
still not an answer. What the hell?
That's confusing because planes fly above the clouds.
Jesus.
Which clouds are you referring to?
I've never had
No,
such
he was talking
utter
about the
bollocks
firmament.
in all my life.
Well, no,
I
you
keep
said
asking you what the
the
firmament
cloud,
is.
the sun and the stars and stuff are above the clouds. Well, planes fly above
I didn't
the
say
clouds.
that.
Which
I didn't say that, man. You're not listening.
I
You're
actually
not
You're
was
making up things.
intently
You're making up
listening.
stuff.
That's exactly what you said.
You're making up things, man. That was Jose speaking.
No, he's not. You're not giving a proper answer. You're dodging this as hard as
This
you
coming from a
can.
guy who just said it's too far, I don't have to answer that, and then pleads the fifth.
No,
like a
I
moron.
didn't say I don't have to answer that. I gave you the only honest answer I could.
And I'm giving you the honest answer. It's too
We're
far.
doing the
I don't
same
know.
thing.
But
Same
you keep
answer.
making all these proclamations about what the firmament is and what's within it and what's without it. So what is it and where is it?
Well, we know that it has to be something physical because there's an extent. Our reality is finite.
Is the sun and the moon, at least let's say the sun and the moon that we see and we can like zoom in and see it. Are those two things inside or outside the firmament?
I would like to answer that, Jose.
Yes, please go ahead. I mean, you know the way I phrased it. I mean, it's kind of not too.
Well, this is why I was trying to break in to clarify what I'd said. When you say in, that could mean like people take that like there's a hard structure and the sun, moon are within in the sky.
Inside.
In the sky, but I'm saying it's in the firmament. So however wide the firmament structure is, we don't know. But I think the light sources are within that firmament in their circuit around us. And then below the firmament is the sky where the clouds and the birds are. And then above the firmament is some type of solution. I would say water, just to keep it simple, but a solution.
So, all right, let me do a quick, before you go, let me do a quick right here. I want to present.
So what you're calling the firmament is actually just space.
So we got right here, we got the ground, we got the water, the ground, right? And this is gigantic. We got, let's say it's a flat. We got the continents, a side view. And then we got this barrier firmament in the sky. This is a freehand and it's bad. This barrier inside, so you say it's not necessarily we got the sun and the moon inside the firmament or outside the firmament. It's not like a one barrier. It's maybe if it starts right here, it's a solid firmament and the sun and the moon will be inside whatever light it is and it behaves certain way inside the firmament.
That's what I believe.
It's possible,
Okay.
I believe the firmament affects how we how the lights appear to our optics. Like it changes the perception of it. If it's a mirror-like substance with water, then it's going to change the optics.
We're progressing. We got I mean, at least I got a visual idea. Farmer's boy, believe me or not. I got a visual idea.
Bollocks. I mean,
the man of God.
They just pulled that out of their asses.
Listen to this guy. Just has no answer for anything.
Oh, listen to this guy. Yeah. Hello, Mind of Fog. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're as bad as
because at least I know like them. I stopped screen sharing, but at least on the globe is easy because we got the Earth where we're standing on, and then we got very far away the sun and the moon and the stars and the galaxy. Those are super far away, huge distances away, and then who knows what's after that because we keep zooming in and looking and we keep seeing these things and little lights and little dots and these are galaxies and gigantic planets and suns and shit.
See,
and then who knows what at the end, that's the
we know what's within the solar system because we've studied it. We've sent probes there. We've sent probes out now past Pluto. I mean, how far are the two Voyager probes out now?
Don't include me in that we, please.
Over 40 years.
We.
Yeah, you guys have.
So we, as in the human race, you know exactly what I'm talking
about.
No,
I'm a human, and I don't subscribe to that at all.
You want no part of that. You want no part of that.
So you're not part of the human religion, race. Not mine. Okay. You're not part of the human race.
With globals.
I had a grown man yesterday tell me that a probe 3.2 billion miles away sent a light ray into two ice balls that collided past Pluto. After they collided, this probe sent a light ray into those ice balls in space and found out what they were made out of, how big they were, they were before they collided, and proved gravity by doing so because they did collide. That's a grown man telling me what happened 3.2 billion miles away. Yeah.
Okay, so you suffer from a surfeit of personal incredulity. That's not my fault.
No, I understand big numbers. I love them. But that is ludicrous.
No, it's not. Why should that be ludicrous?
I love them.
I got a bunch of DM, the direct messages from Bearded Devil, that's Erebus, but it's like a lot. It will make like a whole hour presentation, maybe more. So I'm not gonna go through them, but in the next show when you come in early, Erebus, we'll go through it, and he got links and he got all kinds of stuff. But I don't want to go through it, and it's related to the atmosphere, how far he extends and all this stuff. But
Jose,
yeah,
I
I don't
have a
want to.
question. Is Bearded Devil on?
No, he's not on. I shared the link. He might be busy, but.
Okay, I was interested in his take on the PBS scandal and the overlay video that I linked on Sean G's the other night. I'm sure he's seen it or heard about it by now.
You want to tell the guys here to see, get a little summary and see if you got any new feedback from the panelists today.
Hashtag wrench Chris Berry. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, farmers, man, chill out, dude. You need to take a coffee break or something, bro.
Yeah, we good. Farmers Boy is usually very quiet, but today, he's good.
I just had to sit and listen to half an hour of deluded religitard bullshit. I mean,
you didn't have to do anything. You could have left.
You didn't have to do anything.
No, but that's why I'm not stopping Farmers Boy, because it's always mellow and quiet. He's good today. He's all right.
Jose, just so you know, in the Bible narrative, light was created first, and then it was directed to do various things. So the very, very first quote idea was light, and so God divided it in some way.
What's the Bible got to do with science?
Well, I'm just explaining for us to understand our surroundings from for example, a biblical cosmology. That was the starting point, and so the physicality, the curvature, the optics of the dome, all that came second. Right.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're making a physical claim, but you have no physical evidence for it.
It's coming from a guy who does not want to entertain the physicality of the outer edge of your worldview. So why are you being hypocritical, okay? Like, why?
What is the farthest extent of the universe, the visible universe, got to do with the shape of the earth and your religious belief in a dome covering that earth?
This is how stupid you guys are. It's like,
what you're trying to do, mind of God,
what's going on
is conflate two completely different things to try and make your absurdity seem less absurd, and nobody's going to fall for it. So just shut up and bring yourself back to reality. Give us some physical evidence, or admit you don't have anything worthwhile to supply.
Here's equivalent to what you guys are saying. I ask you, what's going on in Australia? You're like, oh, it's too far away. I don't need to worry about that. So you guys don't believe Australia exists then, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so why
even make a logical argument? It's ridiculous.
Okay, why are you allowed to hand wave what's going on at the outer edge of your heliocentric model then? What's going on there?
You realize that the heliocentric model refers to the solar system, not the entire universe.
Right. We're talking about the boundary, right? You're asking about the boundary of our reality, the flat stationary Earth. What's going on at the boundary of
your so you're saying the dome is over the Earth. We're asking for evidence of that. It's a fairly simple request concerning the fact that you keep making the claim.
The only reason I'm asking the question back is I'm going to answer the same way you are.
Mind of God.
No, so when we talk about things, we talk about the Earth. We talk about the solar system. We're not concerned with the furthest possible extents of the universe, billions and trillions of miles away.
Okay, well, I'm not.
You're making a stupid conflation.
Fine, I'm not concerned about the materialness of the outer edge of my reality. Then
I'm not worried about.
Why do you keep talking about a fucking dome then?
Well, whatever you want to call it, the outer edge of the flat Earth model. If that makes you feel better.
So it's the outer edge of the flat Earth model is too far away to be able to figure out.
Sure.
So you're saying the Earth is effectively infinite?
No, I'm saying it's obvious that it's finite just by our material surroundings. Like nothing can go on forever. Like doesn't matter what model it is.
No, but the Earth, right? You've just tied together the dome, the extent of the firmament with the Earth itself.
Yeah,
so you're implying that the Earth itself goes on for like so far that you can't even imagine it and measure it.
Well, no, I don't have the tools. I'm sure it's possible if we were to get together and do it, but I don't personally have the ability to do it, obviously. Just like you guys, just like you don't have the resources to go and like find out what's going on at the edge of yours.
Well, we are aware of the extents of the Earth. Right.
You just said you're not.
It's a sphere. It's contained within its bounds, and it has a circumference 25,000 miles. So that gives us some numbers to work with in terms of a finite distance. But you're implying it's much more involved, but you can't reach the very edge of it. However, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to go beyond the extents that are implied by our model. So why can't you do something like that?
How far can we go in the
Why can't you go
model?
and measure a distance that's, say, 40,000 miles away?
How would you do that? Let's brainstorm.
But it's 40,000 miles without the capability, especially given modern technology.
Okay,
you
walk
couldn't
me through
hire
how
some
I could...
equipment. You couldn't get someone to help you navigate, fly a plane, take a boat, whatever it is, and go and try and explore your surroundings.
Yeah, dude. All right, chill out. Okay, so let's walk through the steps. How would we, or maybe let's say I had a $500,000 budget. How could we do that? Let's say hypothetically we could.
Did you not just hear me mention that there are various forms of travel?
Sorry, I heard you ramble about a bunch of nonsense.
Fly you.
I heard a
nonsense.
That's rich coming from you.
So basic exploration is nonsense. Explains why you know nothing about your surroundings, because you probably don't go beyond your house when it comes to thinking about the shape of the Earth.
Let's go through the steps.
You've made a claim that the Earth is very, 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 very massive, right? That implies that there's more of it than what we say there is. Why can't you put some money and effort into going exploring it to find out if you can? You don't need to get to its furthest extents. You just have to get to a point that proves there's more to it than what we say. That's it.
We know it's finite just by laws of just chemistry and physics. Like there's no infinity. There's no way I can like stick my hand out and be shot out and just go forever. That doesn't make sense. There has to be an interface.
The infinity thing that wasn't what was being discussed there. It's talking about you demonstrating somehow that it goes to a further extent than what we say it must due to its size as a sphere. So again,
we don't say
if you start off in one part of the Earth now and travel all the way around it, you'll cover just shy of 25,000 miles. You claim that's not true and that there's many, many, many more miles to discover. Why can't you go and make that trip and
talking about?
Head out towards in the direction,
are you drunk?
Whatever direction you think it must extend?
No, he's finishing his point, and let's do this. Yeah, okay.
I don't know if he's sober.
Yeah, mind of God, make a point. Make a point. Okay, make a point, mind of God, so we can move on because he's kind of spinning around.
I just don't know if he knows that I'm talking about out towards space, outwards, not the Earth itself. Just
1 minute.
Jesus Christ, you're actually impossible to talk to because it started off talking about the outer bounds of space. Then you introduced the Earth as being a part of that extent, which is why I changed what we were discussing to you exploring the surface of the Earth. And now you're saying, oh, we're back to the space. All you're doing, Chirag, is dancing around trying to avoid giving an answer. Even when you thought you understood the question, Chirag, what you tried to do was turn it back around on me. Do you not understand that the people on this panel are familiar with your idiotic, childish debate tactics?
And more
answer a question, Chirag, or don't. Don't.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alkay. I appreciate it, man of God.
Let me respond.
Make your statement, and then we'll move on. Yeah.
So okay, maybe he's new to the debate or he just woke up or something. But our flat Earth would be then connected to this dome in some physical way. That's different than your reality. I worry that you don't understand this. Your ball Earth is not quote connected to your dome, whatever you want to call it, the outer extent of your space. So that's my language was for the flat Earth reality, right? So I hope you understand this. Like I was referring to the space between your ball Earth and the outer extent of the universe, which you guys conveniently are able to say, it's too far away, so it doesn't exist. I don't want to tell you about it. I don't know.
Let's see how we can do in a different take. I know Professor Phil Bell. He said he got one or two quick points, and then we'll keep moving on. How you doing, Professor?
Yeah, very well, thank you. I just wanted to clear up something about this helium being solidified in space. First of all, two properties would need to exist in order for that to happen. You would need pressure of at least 25 atmospheres. That's one. And secondly, you'd need temperatures of about 0.95 Kelvin. So in other words, minus 273 degrees C. This is what you would need for helium to solidify in space. It's just a nonsense. It is not possible. So find something else. Please do not mention helium again.
Professor Phil, those numbers that you came up with, At what altitude were those tests done to come up with those numbers?
It doesn't need an altitude. It only needs to. We
Excuse
know
me.
what pressure it is.
Excuse me. It was a simple question. Those tests that came up with those numbers that you just rattled off, where were they performed?
On the Earth, of course.
At where in a lab somewhere?
Of course.
So not in outer space, then, not in upper atmosphere.
Yeah, we know.
Thank
we
you.
know what the temperature is in the listen. We know what the temperature is in the outer atmosphere, and we also know what the pressure is. The pressure is practically nothing. This is why the whole thing about flat earthers are talking about a vacuum in space, and now you're telling me that there's 25 atmospheres. Do you know what 25 atmospheres means?
I'm telling you, there's a firmament, and you don't even believe.
There's no firmament.
Hang on a second.
Nonsense.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get 10 words out before you go berserk. So we believe in a firmament. So how can you, and you don't. So how can you tell me what's maybe happening to helium within that firmament? You can't.
No,
your
I
argument
can't.
is null, because if there is a firmament, then things that we don't know about could be happening within that firmament, including helium being absorbed by the firmament and turned into something. Correct?
No, impossible.
No.
Impossible, because helium can't behave like that, and there's no temperatures.
No,
up there
impossible,
or
because
pressures
helium
that
can't
measure
behave
anything
like that in your model. It's not your model.
How far is the firmament?
I have no idea. How far is the outer edge of space?
How useful are you? You don't even know.
How far is the outer edge of space?
Is that how far the firmament is?
No, I don't know. I don't know. It might be.
We're asking about your boundary conditions.
We're asking about your boundary, just like you're asking about our boundary, and you say the same answer. You don't know. The only difference is we don't say
the edge
you're
of the
crazy.
universe.
Okay. And you don't
It's
know.
not the same thing. The edge of the
You
universe
can't
is not
know,
the same as asking where
because you
your
can't go
firmament is.
there.
It's just
We
further.
don't know about the firmament because we can't go there. It's
We
the
don't even know
same
what it
thing.
is and where it is,
Okay.
because you won't tell us.
You tell me what I believe again. Go ahead.
Well, no, you tell us. You keep talking about the
I
firmament.
just
What is it?
did.
Where is it?
Hi guys, yeah, 1 second. Is the edge and the end of the universe trillions of miles away, probably more? Yes or no?
It's an awful lot of light years away.
Okay, love all that. Now, is the edge and the firmament, that this barrier, is it millions of miles away?
It's a lot,
billions of miles
lots of-
away? Light years away?
It's a lot of light years away, Jose. You accept that as an answer? That's what I'm giving an answer.
No. I'm
as a
asking you
firmament.
if it's a yes or no. Is it light years
We don't
away, the
know.
firmament? Oh,
We don't know.
there's no answer.
No, that man just told you it's light years away. He has no clue. Neither do
No,
we.
but
No
hey,
one can
he gave an answer. It's light years away. Can
But
you
I
give
could
the
give
same
the
answer?
same answer.
Can you
I
say
gave
that the firmament is light years away? That's fair.
If I wanted to just make something up like he's doing, I could just say the same thing.
I'm not
There's
making
no
it
way.
up.
There's no way for you to prove it or disprove it. And if I
Yes,
told you
there
the
is.
Phil,
same
did I
answer,
make anything up?
no, sir. You
There's
want to
no
tell me what
Jose,
happens
make it up.
light years away?
Jose, it's some number of light years away, whether it's a fraction or a
Yep.
full one or multiple one. It's the same thing. So let's move on.
Same thing. Same answer.
It's don't be silly. All right, we
can't
know
help
what it takes. We know what pressure and what temperature it takes to make helium into a solid. So don't say silly things.
Within the
Find
firmament?
something else. Just don't use that one.
Okay, sorry about that.
Can I
Find
ask a
another
quick
one.
question about them saying it's millions of miles away, or responding that way? Many flat earthers that I've talked to say that we can't get outside our atmosphere because of the dome.
Yeah.
And when we ask them about the rockets, they say they crash into the dome. So do you guys hold to that? The rockets crash into the dome and that's why they can't get out? Does
I
it
don't
appear
hold
that way?
I bet he doesn't know.
Because like the first SpaceX
Well,
rocket,
let's hear their answer. Yeah, that's a fair
That's
question.
a bloody
Let's
good
leave it there.
question.
Let's
did
leave
the
it there.
first SpaceX rocket crash into the dome?
Just
Yes?
to confirm, that's a good question according to you guys. I just want clarification on
Yes,
No,
yes,
answer
yes.
the
Okay.
It's a good
Who
question.
That's
To
a
be fair.
very good question.
that. All right, just check.
Who cares whether
Would you
they
like to answer it? Leo, okay, okay, Leo, Phil, please, Leo, it's fair. So we can progress in this. There was a question in there. Do you think the rockets will be crashing into the dome because it like atmosphere, whatever he asked? Please, is anybody going to answer, Rakia or
that's an
my
excellent question. Yes, if a rocket was sent up with quote infinite power, it would hit something physical. Yes, I believe that.
Okay, now wait, guys, wait. Now, earlier was said that the idea, that Rakia Live idea, is that the sun and the moon and whatever they are, however they behave, whatever light phenomena they are inside the firmament. That's what is believed to. But the firmament might be light years away, so that equals like millions of miles away. Is the sun and the moon and these lights millions of miles away?
No, I was just kidding with you, man. I said it's some fraction. It's maybe a half or a quarter. We don't know. Like, I was just being tongue in cheek. It was a joke.
There's something there, but they don't know what it is, and they don't know how far away it is.
Just like you guys. Exactly. Same thing.
No, we know where the sun and the moon are, thank you.
No, but you guys don't know. If we were to send a rocket up with all the infinite power, what do you guys think will happen? It'll just go on forever, right?
It will keep going, yeah.
We have got rockets
two
up
voyages are
there.
still going. Yes, we launched them in the 70s.
No, infinite. Let's say it could go on forever. You just think it will go on forever, right? Let's say we used all of the energy that we have. We sucked it out and then sent something vertically.
Well, by the time I get a chance, they will have moved away from the question, Jose.
No, go ahead.
We answered the question, man. You just don't know smart enough to understand it.
Did the original SpaceX crash into the dome? Yes or no?
You're not smart enough to understand what I said as the answer.
Yes or no? Did the original SpaceX
Okay, that's a fair question.
Here's my answer.
That's a direct question.
Here's my answer.
Yes,
if you send a rocket upwards,
question, yes or no?
If you send a rocket with infinite power upwards, yes, it will hit something.
No, that's not what I asked.
So the answer is no, Leal. Yeah, answer for them, Leal, is no. Okay, let's move on. Leal, yeah. Leal, I'm sorry, I'm talking over you now. You asked the question, do you think the SpaceX rocket hit the dome? That's what you question. You don't have to fucking keep repeating it, bro. Do you guys gonna answer it, Rakia and Mind of God, yes or no?
With what I said, so no, not every rocket.
You did not answer the question. You're changing the question to something I did not ask. I didn't say.
Well, ask a better one. Ask a smarter one. Go ahead. Ask a better one.
All right, they're not going to answer your question, Leal. Go ahead. Let's just move on, Leal. They're not going to answer, Leal.
Jose, why did you let this piece of shit back in?
I never got a chance to answer.
He's relaxed.
Can I ask a question?
Like that?
I say relax. I am.
Jose, can I ask a question?
You guys treated me worse yesterday, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why are you guys in a bad mood? Like, did you guys see some flat Earth evidence on the inside?
Question. I didn't ask about an infinite rocket with infinite energy. I asked about a specific rocket with limited energy.
Which rocket did you reference? Which rocket?
The SpaceX rocket.
Okay,
the first one that you blasted off, did it hit the dome, yes or no?
Okay, did it have any resistance? Did it fall in an unexpected way?
Yeah, no, let's ask now the question.
Did it hit the dome, yes or no?
I'm asking you, did it experience any resistance?
But you're not answering. You're asking a question instead of ask for an answer.
He's asking a stupid question, so I'm
No, he's not. He's asking the question.
You know, I'm going to answer his question, Leal. I already said it.
Of course
he's not going to answer it.
If it didn't interact with anything physical, no, it was just in the atmosphere then. That's fine. They shoot those all the time. It's not a big deal.
That's not the
well, straight, Leal, let me ask the question Leal, wait 1 second, Leal, don't interrupt. Wait, I'm on your side here. Wait, on this sense, Stringer News for $2. Listen to this. Don't double down on it, Leal. Let me read the super chat. Did SpaceX hit the dome? There you go. Who's going to answer it? Mind of God or Rakia?
Did SpaceX hit the dome? SpaceX is a company, isn't it?
So let's hear Rakia. All right, you're gonna keep dancing around it. Rakia, did the SpaceX rocket hit the dome?
He might have left. Oh no, he's
here. He's waiting to talk. He's gathering his thoughts. Yeah, he unmuted. It was hot, Mike. He's working,
he might be okay.
Yeah.
Well,
wow.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Was it?
We don't know. Can you?
Does it involve bleeding?
Ooh, hey.
Can I ask a question?
What I'd like to know, whether you agree with it or not, whether you think it's real or not. Bob Nadell, somebody in the community bought a ring laser gyroscope for $20,000, and that's That's true, apparently. Now, if that happened and that amount of money can be raised, what about you guys going to Antarctica, crowdfunding or getting some money from someone like this guy who bought the ring laser gyroscope? What about that? Actually knuckle down and actually fucking do something.
John,
why don't you do that?
I know what they're gonna say.
John, look at our leadership in Flat Earth, man. Are you kidding? We're arguing about $500 super chats from invisible people. You think we're gonna do something like that?
Maybe one day I'll get a big super chat like that.
Why don't you?
Jose probably has a better chance of doing something like that than the leadership we have. Are you kidding?
That's a total cop out.
You know what's going on?
You could someone could organize some kind of crowd. Anyone could organize some kind of crowdfunding.
Can I mention something? Can I bring something up just quickly?
That's optimistic.
There was a guy called Flat Earth Billionaire that offered up quite a lot of money for a challenge. Why does he not use that to go to the Antarctic? I mean, it seems like a silly thing to do.
Yeah,
clearly there are people.
Nathan Thompson, buddy, he got money here.
Yeah, exactly. Nathan Thompson said that too. He has a rich person apparently. Why is
he not using it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would love to know the answer. These people are actors. They're in place, right?
You don't need one. I mean, that was perhaps the wrong comparison to make. You don't need one extremely wealthy backer. There are so many people apparently in the flat Earth community that you could crowdfund and easily get the money together for 2 or 3 people to actually just go to Antarctica.
Hey, hold that thought really quick. Hold that thought really quick, man of God. Really quick. Leil is fun. Just give me $2. And he said, this super chat is for big. Hey, I call it big. I think this is the beginning of the GoFundMe. $50,000 we're going to collect in super chats today. Boom. Damn. That's never in my life. I got $2 to start, bro.
I don't know why I cut it off, Jose, but it's supposed to say Big Blue.
Oh, that's super chat for Big Blue. Damn it. I thought it was for me.
Yeah, it gives you a character limit on depending on the amount.
I want my money.
But John Watson, sorry, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Every fiber of my being. That makes me wonder, why isn't that the case? Why aren't flat earthers pursuing a unique solution? There's something else going on. So I agree with you that it should have been done already.
The military.
Let's hear John Watson. Let's hear John Watson answer. And I know Big Blue want to say something and Rocky also. So let's go ahead.
You're mind of God. I've never spoken to you before, but you seem to be trying to separate yourself from the leadership of the Flat Earth,
correct,
and from the general sort of populace of the Flat Earth. So who the fuck are you?
I'm not a person who has enough people to do what you're recommending, which I think is a brilliant idea, is to crowdfund, get maybe a money for a very, very military grade drone, sophisticated something rather. And we've been yearning for that. Us everyday, I call us non-conference earthers, us everyday average people.
What
is the difference?
Do you want to have just a tour?
Hold on, Professor. Hold that thought because Blue, I know he want to say something, but Rocky, I was up first. You're going to comment on the needed money or something, Rakia, and then we hear Blue's Marvel. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't deny that people can go to Antarctica. I can get on a cruise in certain times of the year and go down there, or get on a plane and fly into a military base and spend a week or 2 there. But there's been some obvious research into the personal ability to go down there and do exploration. I actually talked to one of my buddies in the marina that is in the oil industry, and I asked him about Antarctica, and he said it was the most taboo place on earth, meaning nobody in the offices can even talk about exploring. It's doing oil exploration in Antarctica, right? It's taboo. You know that they would definitely hush you up, and because I don't know why, but there's definitely restrictions on exploration, not on going there.
All right. Let's hear Blue Marble Science. What do you have to say? What do you think, Blue?
Well, yeah, the first thing I wanted to say is I want my $2. And
damn it.
Jose, you might get sued for that, like Ranty and Roxanne. Be careful, dude.
And and it is absolutely forbidden to go down there and explore for oil.
Exactly.
Rakia. That's not allowed. It's not allowed to do anything like that. Antarctica is protected. Its resources, its natural resources are protected from the human population. Thank goodness. I mean, it's a pristine area.
Right.
When you go there, you take what you need and you bring all of it back, including the waste. You don't leave anything behind.
We heard.
That's the rules that were set down a long time ago for good reason. They're just trying to maintain the place pristine.
Right. So those rules that are set in place that you agree with restrict the exploration. So how can we, no matter how much money we...
No, sir. You're taking... No, I'm cutting you off because you're misstating what I said.
Okay.
I didn't say it's forbidden to go down there and explore. You can go and explore. You can go walk across the thing if you want to.
Can you and how far can you walk in Antarctica?
You can walk all the way to the other side of it. But
Right.
Are you going to let me talk or not? Or you just want to keep doing it?
You cut me off.
You just want to keep doing it, Rocky?
You cut me off.
Go ahead.
So your point is we can go down there, but we can't take gasoline because that's restricted. So we can't. How far are we going to explore? Can I take my plane down there? Can you? Have you ever checked into that?
Did I say you couldn't take gasoline down there?
I've asked you, since you're a pilot and you've claimed that you've flown around the world, right? You told me that on Sean G's channel. I respect you as a pilot. That takes a hell of a...
You're misstating me again, but go ahead.
Okay. I even asked you what plane you used. So anyway,
you're a pilot?
You're a pilot, right?
What the hell?
Yes, I'm a pilot. I never said I flew an airplane around the world.
Okay, so
you're not a pilot.
You said
God.
Please, yeah. Don't accuse Joseph if you don't know.
Okay, sorry. I'll go on mute.
I've said I've flown around the world,
right?
and I have. Yeah, I'm definitely a pilot. I didn't say I was flying an airplane. I said I have traveled and flown around the world. Yes, many times.
No, I'm not talking about that anymore. So, with all the money in the world, if I gave you an unlimited budget, could you take any plane to Antarctica and go explore across the continent right now?
You bet.
If I funded it.
Over the air,
100% funded.
in the air, yeah, there's nothing stopping you.
That's a lie.
The only restriction on aircraft is
file that flight plan. Nope. That's y'all are deceived on that point.
No, I don't think so.
File that flight plan, Blue.
You can. Just recently, there was actually an expedition. Just recently, I can't remember what it's called, but it went from pole to pole. No, it was called the last. Somebody remind me. The last time, or something like that, where a couple of pilots in a bombardier, I think, went from pole to pole, North Pole to South Pole, back to North Pole.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Right across the continent.
That's exactly right.
So I want to read a quick comment. I hold that up. I want to read a quick, nice comment from WS. He say that Wolfie 6020 has offered to pilot a plane from South America to Australia over Antarctica, but if the flat earth can raise the money to charter the plane. I know it's not like going pole to pole, but it's in order to fly from South America to Australia, he's got to go straight. You got to go through Antarctica, and he's offered to do that. Now the flat earther haven't stepped up, haven't communicated with him yet at all.
Jose, we have pilots who are telling us that it's flat. I have friends who I've interviewed. They assume flat and stationary. What else do we need?
Where's the footage?
Well, it's weird how
I have
these pilots
videos
use
on my channel of pilots admitting
so no
that
comments.
flat and stationary.
No comments then on Wolfie, wanting to help the cause and collaborate with flat earthers. No comments on that then.
No, I mean I'm telling you my own personal interaction with my friend, and I put the interview back and forth talking to him on LinkedIn. He's an instructor in the military, and so he's flown many times. One second, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. So I've gone back and forth with him. He doesn't have a ball earth proof. My friend who is an amateur pilot and works for a simulator company in Montreal, he's also said they assume flat and stationary. And then we have a video on my channel of 4 pilots admitting that the earth is flat. So why do we need to do all this other stuff?
So no comments on the Wolfie trying to collaborate. Okay.
You want me to trust Wolfie over those people that I just in my own life that I've
absolutely.
Mind of gods. mind of God. You're not. You don't have to trust Wolfie. If you're actually on a plane, you can check for yourself. You're not taking someone's word. You're taking those pilots' word for it.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with evidence.
Check what for myself?
Yeah,
What are you
that's
talking
it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. You don't have to take Wolfie's word for it. He's putting an offer on the table to actually take people and make a flight. You don't have to just take his word for it, like you have taken the word of these pilot friends of yours. You actually do it for real.
What's Wolfie's claim? I'm not sub to his channel. What is he?
His offer is to take flat earthers on a flight from South America to Australia, I believe, across the South Pole.
Great. So yeah, why doesn't he do that? Just do it himself and then film it, and then it's over.
No, you guys are gonna say that. You guys are gonna say something is BS.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna call BS. He's inviting flat earthers to go in the plane.
That's so
That you guys are not gonna lie, or are we? Are you?
But I don't understand. If he has the ability to do that, why is this debate even happening? It's been years now. So what's
You have any idea how much money it would cost to get an airplane that can do that and pay for the fuel?
That's why no flat earther is going to risk that, because the permits alone you can't do it. It can't be done.
Yes,
how much would it be?
It can be done. You just
Blue,
don't
I've
put the money
asked you,
for
can
it.
you file that?
Put the money where your mouth is.
How much is the
I
cost?
asked Blue. He's a pilot. File that flight plan, Blue.
If you can,
let me ask you a question. You know all about this.
Exactly.
Who would you file that flight plan with?
Good point. You have to go through so much red tape. I think there's
no. What red
different...
tape? What red tape? Who would you file that flight plan with? Whose airspace would you be in?
You're not in anybody's airspace, but you can't get
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're right.
It's unknown. It's like the moon. The moon is unknown too, but you can't fly over it.
All right, guys. One second. Professor Phil Bell, he said he's got a better offer. Let's see what offer. Professor Phil Bell is here. Go ahead.
But
wait,
can Blue answer that question?
This is my offer.
I
will take 2 or 3 flights to Antarctica in December if you put up your $6,000 each.
Why 6? Why does the number 6 keep popping up everywhere? Why not 5? Why not 7?
Let's say 3 flat earthers. 6,000 each. There you go. Conspiracy.
He's offering you a flight to
$666. Is that how
I love it. No, just $6,000. That's it.
Make it 5,000.
We're gonna stay for 6 days and
5,999, right?
If you want to put in 7, that's fine.
And how far are we gonna walk away from base camp, Professor Phil?
Okay.
How far are we gonna walk?
We'll get you to the tip of South America, and then we'll take a ship from the tip of South America to Antarctica. And while you're there, you can spend a week. You can see that the sun will shine for 24 hours. Is that enough for you?
Is that offer only open to flirts, or is that offer open to anybody that's got $6 grand?
No, it's gotta be flat earthers because they're the ones that are questioning, and they gotta go in there. They gotta see for themselves.
Come on, it's not that hard. You can do it. I'll take 2 of you down there. I'll take 2 of you down there. Put up $7,000, $6,000 each. I'll take 2 of you down there. We'll spend a week down there. You'll see the 24-hour sun for yourself.
All right, right. Yeah.
I'd gladly write. I'd gladly write.
Hold on, John. Rakia, what do you think?
No, I was asking how far away we could.
About, dude. We weren't talking about the 24-hour sun. We were talking about flight paths, and then he just went off.
Mm-hmm.
But that's interesting. The 24-hour sun. How would it work in Antarctica?
Sure, we can talk about that next. But Big Blue, can you answer your question? Who would we file? Let's just say hypothetically we did that trip. Who do we? If you know the answer,
avoid the big time, bro.
Who do we file that?
Dancing around the topics.
Through Professor Bell, he'll take you there.
Take us where?
I'll take you to the tip of South America, and then we'll get a boat, and we'll take a ship to. This is in the summer around Christmas time. We'll take a ship to Antarctica. We'll go to McMurdo and spend some time there, and then while we're there, you'll see that the sun will shine for 24 hours.
Okay.
And then the deal is that you come back and you tell everybody.
Could we video that while we're there?
Absolutely.
Professor, have you been there before?
Hasn't anyone else done it?
Lots of people.
Wait, has this professor been there before?
Yes,
many people have done it. Many people have done it. The point is that no flat earthers have done it. It's the whole point of this.
Wait, has Professor Phil Bell been to Antarctica before?
Yes, I have.
And if flat earther does it, he'll be a shield. I'm calling.
The 24-hour sun is more likely on a flat Earth. I don't understand why you think that's a strong ball.
Right.
On the South Pole? No.
How?
Wasn't there a guy
how?
that just
How?
wasn't there a guy that just went down there and took GPS points the entire trip? He
All right,
crossed
guys.
over Antarctica.
I'm gonna shut this down.
No,
Mind of
definitely
God.
not.
Wait. I'm gonna shut it down. You guys gonna hear me? You gotta entertain this because Mind of God say the 24-hour sun will work in a flat Earth. The Antarctic sun, the South Pole. Mind of God, the floor is yours. Tell us how this sun 24 hours work and nobody there to interrupt. And I hope you present evidence and present some kind of graphic because I like illustrations and I want to take a little look and we are going to do so now. Mind of God, the floor is yours.
Well,
24-hour sun on Antarctica.
Sure.
No. Don't dance around it. Don't ask questions. You're going to present
All right,
that.
just you're getting emotional, dude.
No. You're gonna. I'm excited, bro, because I want to see this shit.
We know you're excited. You're a shill, dude. So shut up.
I want to see this shit.
Play the video. Play the video.
All right, Man of
Let's
God,
hear the
you're
video.
out. You're out, bro, because you now to avoid that, you just are like, oh, you're a shield.
All
bro.
right, just play the video
You know
of
what?
the
Go fuck yourself.
About bloody time.
Nice.
I want to know how a 24-hour sun would work on the ice rink because the sun's on one side and how does it work? The sun's on one side of the planet at a time.
You know what?
Light up the entire Antarctic ring. It would light up the entire
I just had
world.
a question for Phil Bell.
Yeah.
So you went there. When you went there, was it around the time when you can see the supposed 24-hour sun?
Yes.
Okay, so did you see 24-hour sun, the actual physical sun 24 hours a day, or did you see sunlight 24 hours?
The physical sun, 20 degrees up in the.
And so you stayed up for 24 hours and you saw the sun the whole time?
Every time I went out, it was still there.
Okay, so you didn't see it for 24 hours straight then, correct?
No, come on.
It went up, and it went down, it went up, and it went down.
The sun hid for a little bit. It's
It
like,
waited
I'll
till
hide.
Phil
I'll
turned
hide
it
quickly.
I did have dinner.
The horizon.
It's still like sun's
That was a
still there.
legitimate question.
I don't need all the chime-ins from these people.
Yeah,
I'm just
let
asking
one at a
you
time,
questions.
please. Let's talk and let's talk. Let's go. They start fresh. Man of God is out. We'll start fresh one at a time, please. Let's be civil now and bring it back down a few notches and let's relax everybody.
So we've established that Phil Bell did not see 24-hour sun in the sky.
Yes, I did.
You just said you weren't up for 24 hours, so how could you have seen it for 24 hours straight?
Because every time I went out there, and no matter what time it was, I actually have a photo of me there at 2 o'clock in the morning. The sun is still up in the sky.
Right, one photo?
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Well, you already have
I
been,
haven't
so
said
go ahead.
much. If you look at the sun at its lowest point on the day, and then you look at the sun at the highest point, anytime in between, it's not like it's gonna disappear. If you can catch it at the lowest point and then at the highest point, and it never goes under the horizon, then yeah, you saw the 24/7 sun.
Well, there's some people on a Discord that would disagree with you. That they believe in realms.
Yeah, because you guys are skeptical of everything. I'm done.
No, I wouldn't. I said other people would. They believe it's coming in and out of corridors, which is crazy.
You know, here's your chance to learn something, and you're just being an idiot. You could learn something. You could ask some really good questions, but no, you have to be an idiot. I'm telling you what, the sun is in the sky about 20 degrees. Now, as it gets down towards January, around about mid-January, that's when the sun starts to go down. So what happens is it stays and it starts to go down, and then eventually it just dips down, and it actually goes away. You get nighttime for 10 minutes. That's all. Nighttime for 10 minutes. Then up comes the sun again, goes back up again, goes around about 20 degrees up in the sky and comes back down again like that. Nighttime again for about 10 minutes. And eventually, as you get towards the end of January, it stays longer and longer. By the time you get to March, April, the sun is now you're starting to get 3 or 4 hours of nighttime. Eventually, you get 24 hours of nighttime by the time you get to June. And then you get, so it's dark. You go outside anytime, day or night, it's dark. And then you wait again as it approaches spring, around September, you start seeing the sun stays for longer and longer. By the time it gets to about mid-December, it doesn't go down at all. 13 months. Okay?
Okay, so I'm just establishing facts. So the facts are you personally did not see 24-hour sun as you claimed. And then second of all, so what we often get for evidence is, first of all, claims. Second of all, we get presented with videos. Every video I've seen, and there's only about 3 out there, which is very odd, 3 that I've seen, and I've searched for more. They all have weird oddities and discrepancies. Like for example, one of the prominent ones is a looped video that purportedly shows 24-hour sun. But why would you loop video if you're showing, if everything was legit and you just were showing the 24-hour sun? There's a couple of others I've seen. They also have discrepancies. So that's the second piece of evidence. Let me finish. Okay. That's the second piece of evidence that the 24-hour sun is videos. The third thing is, if you want to get down in brass tacks, Walter Bislin flat Earth dome model accounts for 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So his model
doesn't believe in a flat Earth, and that flat Earth model states
no one said he did. No one said he did, Lael. No, it doesn't.
The entire point of that model is to show how ridiculous it is.
Oh, so he built a working model.
Paragraph
so it's ridiculous.
Model.
Yes.
Says this would never work. Period.
Chris, we could get Walter Bislin to come on here and refute everything you just said.
I want Walter Bislin to come on because I want to ask him, why would you build a working, not working model? It doesn't make any sense.
To make fun of dumbasses like you, Chris.
It's to demonstrate how ridiculous lengths you need to go to try and make it work, that it still doesn't work. And plus because every single one of you are incapable of producing a model yourselves.
Yeah, I've got it. Because we aren't obsessed. We aren't fawning over models. Like,
no, it's because you're incompetent, lazy, and full of shit.
It's because models aren't real.
Just give me a minute. I want to go. So just let me ask you. Let me just go through 2 things that you said. Okay. All right. First of all, people who go, when you talk about why isn't anybody going down there and filming the sun for 24 hours? Nobody who goes down there, or I've ever met, goes down there, thinks that has to worry about thinking the earth is flat. That's one thing. Okay. All right.
Hey, I have a point to that, please.
Hey,
that's like going to the north and seeing the green sky and not videoing it and telling everybody you saw it. But the reason you didn't video it is because it's not a big deal. It's one of the most odd things on Earth is the 24-hour sun if it exists. And no one videos it when they go there. That's the most cop-out statement I've ever heard.
How long does it take to take video of a 24-hour sun?
Who's going to stand outside for 24 hours?
Hey,
Carl,
they make a $100 camera that does time lapse. $100.
Let me get this straight, Rakia. So, for that to be real, every single person that goes to Antarctica must film it, otherwise it's fake.
Yeah, I've got a question for Chris. If Professor Bell sees a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, say up at 20 degrees, and he happens to go inside and rest for 2 or 3 hours, what do you think the sun did during those 2 or 3 hours when he comes back out to see it again at 20 degrees above the horizon?
He didn't tell us he came out in 2 or 3 hours. He said he went out at 2 a.m.
I don't
doubt he was there. I don't doubt he saw light in Antarctica for 24 hours or however long he said, because he said there's some darkness at some point. I don't doubt that at all.
Well, what do you think the sun does during the gaps in your observation over the 24 hours?
I didn't claim there were gaps.
Let me finish. If you have a gap of 2 to 3 hours in viewing the sun over a period of 24 hours, and you see it each time at around 20 degrees above the horizon, what do you think it did during those gaps in which you did not see the sun? I'm kind of curious.
Who didn't see the sun during a gap? He didn't state how long it was. He just said he didn't stay up for 24 hours. And
let me tell you what I was doing there.
There's some gaps. I'm just.
It's very odd that no one does that. And when they do video it, the videos.
Let me tell you what I was
some
doing
clear
there, then you'll see for yourself. Let me tell you what I was doing there. Okay, I was on a meteorological project. And we would go out, we had a station out there, a weather station, and we have to go out there every 3 hours to collect data. I would go, my shift was every 3 hours. Other people had their 3-hour shift. Okay, and so we're collecting data all the time. And every time I went out there, the sun was there. It was just somewhere else, but still 20 degrees up in the sky. And like I said to you, as it approached January, it started getting lower at one point and higher at the other point. And that's how it went. So eventually it became higher up and lower down till we got some nighttime, 10 minutes of nighttime, 15 minutes of nighttime, half an hour of nighttime. But every 3 hours, we have to go out to the weather station and collect data.
Yeah. So if you have, say, 2 or 3 people going out every few hours, 3 hours or whatever, and recording data, and they each see the sun, they compare notes. So over 24 hours, everybody's seen the sun. What's the problem with that?
I don't know.
So now these 2 or 3 people compared notes about the sun. No, it's just Professor Phil saying that he saw a 24-hour sun in Antarctica while he was there, and then stating that, well, he didn't see it himself. You know, come on, there's always something, and it's on
what
both
happened
sides.
to the sun in the 3 hours?
Where is this?
He didn't say it was 3 hours. He said his shift. He never stated that.
And why it's every 3 hours?
I'm just kind of curious. Does Rocky have pride himself in being a dumb shit? I just don't get it.
Yeah, attack,
no personal insults. No personal insults. Address the arguments. Do not attack the people.
Yeah,
Rocky,
I have
I've got a
Professor
question.
Phil. Professor Phil.
Mm-hmm.
The lecture that you did at altitude in a plane, and you said you filmed it. Have you posted that yet?
No.
You don't remember that? You don't remember telling me you've done a lecture in a plane at altitude with students?
Oh, yes. Taking up students.
Oh, now you remember.
Yes.
You ever posted that?
No, I didn't feel that.
Okay.
How do you not instantly remember that as happening in your life?
So I'm supposed to trust this guy who's told me lies before. He can't even remember a story he told me.
Wait, so
that's hilarious.
How dare he forget something?
Hey, buddy, you can trust him if you want.
I do thousands of things. This for a few years in a row, actually about 3 years in a row, we went out to Moorabbin Airport and hired an aeroplane to take students up in the aeroplane to show them how aerodynamics works. And that was the whole point. So the pilot actually did the lecture, not me.
Well, that story's changed a little bit.
I've got a question for Rakia and Chris. So right now it is daytime for me. I look up at the sky and I can't see any stars. What's happened to the stars? Have they disappeared?
I'm looking up in my daytime sky and I don't see any stars either. But you know what? A little bit later, hang on, let me answer. So a little bit later, when the sun is still up in the western sky, there's going to be a very bright star. Yeah, I think y'all call it Venus. That's going to be right above the sun, and it's in the daytime sky. So no, they don't disappear. They're still there. They get drowned out whatever light does in the sky. You're asking about something in the sky.
Well, the same logic applies to your ridiculous implication that the sun was hiding when Professor...
I didn't say anything about the sun hiding when Professor Phil did anything.
No, Chris Berry
Professor Phil was there. I never said anything.
No, you guys implied. Aha.
You guys? No, you can talk to me if you want. You can say what I did.
So, Rakia, in that case then, is Professor Phil Bell justified in saying that there is 24-hour sun in Antarctica?
I don't think so, no. I wouldn't trust that. I would trust if I went down there and saw it, I would love to see it.
So is he lying? You're saying that he's lying?
I don't think he's telling the full truth. We've asked him several times how many times he went out.
How do you know that there's something wrong here? What?
Because his
Do you have
story,
anything
his
to say
personal story, including the one with the pilot now doing the lecture, wasn't his story before 6 months ago. And earlier when he said, hang on. Earlier when he said he saw the 24-hour sun, and then we questioned him on it, his story immediately changed and said, well, he didn't see the whole 24 hours because he was sleeping part of the time. And now the story is, well, he got up and did one shift at 2 o'clock and then got up in the morning and the sun was still out. That story changes. That's why you can't believe someone when their story changes. Just
My
like
story hasn't changed at all. Rubbish.
Can I just bring it?
My story is very, very simple. Very simple.
Yeah, the problem you got here, Professor Phil, is these people are liars. These people are liars. They know they're liars, and they assume everybody else must be liars.
Yeah. Catch me in one lie, Professor.
That's exactly that's exactly what you're going to call people names. I'm going to call you names.
Yeah, you can call me a liar, but you can't catch me in one. My story stays the same, sir. I'm married with 3 kids, about 33 years. I'm sitting on a job site right now.
What's that got to do with the price of tea in China?
Let me ask a question. Did anybody use the mute button? Did anybody mute it, Rakia? Or you mute yourself, Rakia?
And more than that, I'm offering a chance.
Wait.
Come on.
Did you mute yourself, Rakia?
$1,000 together, and we'll go down to Antarctica.
Hold it.
I'm sorry. I think you guys don't hear me. Did you mute yourself, Rakia? Or did anybody mute him?
Are you there, Rakia?
You're muted, Rakia, if you're trying to speak. Unmute yourself.
Someone muted me also.
I muted you because you were blowing down your mic.
Yeah, get that thing out of your mouth.
I want to know if Rakia muted himself or if anybody muted Rakia.
Maybe he's AFK.
Okay, because he's not speaking. So maybe he's got busy at work. Hopefully nobody muted him.
He said so. Maybe he did do it himself.
Because he was speaking. He was in the middle of the sentence and he went quiet. So that's really odd. And that's not allowed here. The person that muted anybody is going to be out forever.
Jose, no one muted me. I had a call.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that, man.
I wouldn't lie about that.
All right, man. Thanks.
Professor, can I ask you a question about your trip to Antarctica?
Yeah, sure.
When you would go out and record data every 3 hours, how long would you be out before you go back in?
Oh, half an hour?
So every 3 hours you would go out for a half hour, and the sun would still be up at 20 degrees every 3 hours for the 20 minutes.
Yes, but in a different place, yeah?
Yeah, but it's still 20 degrees above the...
Yes. Yep, the sun's in there all day. If the weather's clear, that is, all right?
So in an 8-hour period, if you times that by 30 minutes, you get 4 hours. So that's at least 4 hours of the sunlight being or the sun being up 20 degrees. At least 4 hours. Now, if you take into account how many other people were with you.
Well, 2 of us at a time going out to get the data, yeah.
No, I mean on the shifts, how many people were there taking data?
About 20 people.
So what's 20 times 4?
80 in the last time I went to school.
That'd be about 80 hours worth of sunlight straight? Because...
Wait a minute.
More?
I don't get what you're talking about.
Professor Phil, I think what he's trying to ask you is, how many times did you go out? How many hours was in between the time that you went out?
No, that's not what I'm asking, Rakia.
Well, I'd like to know.
Every time Bob or Phil went out, he went out for a half an hour. Correct, Phil?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, about that. Yeah.
In a 24-hour period, if you divide that by 8, right? That's 3 times. 3 times 30 minutes is an hour and a half.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had 20 people doing that.
No, not 20 people are doing that. There's only the whole team was only 4, so there's not 20 people doing. They did other things. The expedition does all sorts of things. One of them is meteorological observations. That's all.
So the point is that Professor Phil Bell saw the sun in the sky for more than 24 hours, which is impossible on a flat Earth.
Yeah, I want to share my screen and
it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Really quick, I want to share my screen. Somebody shared this video with me. This is changing phases, the moon over the South Pole. So you say, I don't know how many days. I just seen this in first time, and I think it's really cool. I watched the first minute or so. So we'll just watch it in the background. The main one. You guys can continue speaking.
Can I ask Professor Phil something? Because I might owe him an apology, and I'll apologize if
yeah, please.
This comes up. So when you were there and you went out to do your shifts, say you did. When was the on a normal day? When was your last shift of like the evening before 6 o'clock? And then when would you go out again? Because you said you went out at 2 a.m. When was the time that you went out before? And this doesn't prove anything. I'm just trying to clarify that you never saw the 24-hour sun yourself the whole time. I mean, right? But I understand the argument.
This is as much as I'll tell you. Every single time I went out, the sun was in the sky.
And how many hours were in between the time that you would go out?
Roughly 3 hours in between each time.
So, okay, 3 hours. Okay. And what about were you ever in Antarctica when there wasn't a sun?
Yes.
Where does it go then?
It doesn't rise. It doesn't rise at all.
I got you. So no time during a 24-hour period would you see a sun in the sky?
Not even light. Not even twilight or anything like that.
No light. It would be dark, correct?
Yep.
What months are those, and how long does that last?
That would be June, and it'll be about, if I recall, about 3 weeks, something like that.
So 3 weeks in June. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Play gotcha.
No, I'm not. I'm trying.
No.
I never knew that. I never knew that, Blue. So whenever you want to know something about me, just ask me. Okay, I'll tell you the truth. Don't put words in my mouth.
When these guys call you a liar to your face, don't even dignify that with any sort of response. They don't deserve it.
You call me a liar, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna get on to you. All
right, guys, let's try to avoid the personal attacks. This video was awesome. Zep Tepi, I think it was changing the faces of the moon, but it never went below the horizon. That was amazing. 14 days, the camera mount has working.
The moon was a bit small, but it was decent. But it's
continuously for 14 days at 60 degrees, taking picture every 2 minutes, and there was a time lapse. 14 days time lapse.
I didn't know you could have stuff like that with the moon.
Really cool.
In Antarctica.
Oh yeah.
If you can, can I just say if you can get set up cameras.
That's 14 days time lapse of the moon.
Yeah, 14 days. The camera pointing at the moon,
like right
taking a picture
in
every 2 minutes.
Did you post that?
John, 1 second, John. That was a video of a time lapse of 14 days on Antarctica. A camera pointing at the moon, taking a picture every 2 minutes.
Ooh,
so that's a time lapse of 14 days. I just pasted the link in the Google Meet chat, and I just pasted it on the YouTube chat. And thank you, Zep Tepi is the one that shared that video with us.
Zep Tepi, okay, good, thanks.
I just wanted to say that setting up a camera in Antarctica to do a time lapse over that length of time is no mean feat.
Right, I got
you're talking like minus 60, minus 70 degrees Celsius or something like that.
Except for the camera that we just posted that did a
so that's possible with normal cameras, as long as you.
I think there's a little bit of specifications on the camera used and the setup, the rigs. I just didn't, we didn't break it down 100%. We just playing the video in the background. You guys can go visit and take a look. Maybe try to contact the creator of this video.
But he's trying to say it's very limited. There's not enough, but there's a camera on screen right now that did a 14-day time lapse of the moon in Antarctica. So I think we could get a 24-hour of the sun in Antarctica.
The point I was trying to make, actually, just as a side point, was it's not that difficult to shield cameras from the elements to take pictures. and what the implication of that is.
And we do have video, you just deny it.
Yeah, I got a video from the same guy that did the moon one, so we're gonna play it right now in real time. Thank you, Tepi. Let's see what it is. Reacting in real time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, beautiful.
And I think maybe the same rig, the same setup or whatever. So maybe if you want more information, we'll I'll share the link of the video. I got no information. I'm just playing this in real time, first time ever today. It's just in the background playing. I'll share the link with you guys.
Thanks, Jose. I've got a question as well. I'd like to ask Rakia. That's right. A few questions.
Well,
Yeah,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
obviously we have to examine this video like the others and find more discrepancies, I'm quite sure.
Yeah. You can talk in the background. This is just in the background playing.
Okay, Rakia. So you keep talking about the dome or the firmament. Do you have anything at all to suggest that that actually exists other than the Bible? I mean, how do you know that there is whatever this thing is?
The only thing I would say to that is that I've seen government documents on the study of the firmament, and like I said before, they could have been referencing the biblical word as firmament to mean the sky. So I'm not going to say they're talking about what the same thing I'm talking about, but they're definitely using firmament. And but they are studying the structure, how high up it is, what it's made out of, and they're referring it as a solid structure. So that's one reference of proof that I would, that I say I've seen. If you want to call it proof, I don't know. There's other phenomena that has happened, such as sprites and things like that seem to be coming from some type of, I don't want to say a hard structure, but from a definite area. And unlike lightning that I believe comes from the ground and goes up, these sprites seem to be coming from the upper atmosphere and coming down. Also with the antecedent of gas pressure being a container, which almost I would say 99% of scientists adhere to. You either say the atmosphere held by gravity is your container, or you say there's another container, which I believe has to be a solid container at some point, whether it be 3,000 miles up, 50,000 miles, 100,000, or a light year away. I don't know.
Could you do me a favor, Rakia? And I'm not trying to to get you or anything. Could you provide me with any of the? I haven't heard of these sprites or these documents. So if you know where they are, if you have any, do you think you could send them over to me? I'd be curious.
I'm not gonna be able to do that now, but they're not like hidden. They're not hidden.
What I'd like to hear about is the government documents of this investigation into the firmament that you mentioned initially. That would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, the United States, Russia, China, they all released documents with the firmament as a study using the word firmament. And like I said, they seem to be talking about a hard, solid structure, trying to figure out what it's made, how it affects light, the distance that it's away from the equator or the Antarctic.
How would we access?
Where do we get that?
I found it on the internet. I don't know exactly how I found it. I don't have it at my fingertips at the moment, but it's out there. It's not like it can't be verified. I've seen 3 different countries, U.S., Russia, and China, that did studies on, like I said, what they called the firmament. Now, even the Bible, the New Translation, is called expanse, which they're trying to make it into the sky. But they definitely use the firmament in their paperwork and reference it to a solid dome with a specific height that they were trying to find out. They also did studies on how light would propagate through such a thing.
So you're just telling us a story that documents you supposedly have seen. You can't produce them for us, so we can't fact check whether or not what you're saying is correct. Yet you want us to believe you, right?
I believe it's a verifiable story that you can back up, and then if you can't, I'll produce them for you. That's fine with me, but I don't have them at my fingertips. I'm on my phone in my truck.
I'm trying to look right now, Rakia, by the way.
Sure. And I'll look. I can look on the internet.
I've
I'm
had a
only
look as
getting
well.
I'm only getting religious sites at the moment.
Same here.
Yeah, when you research firmament, look up. I'm gonna type in Russia, and
Okay.
you know these documents could be faked. I don't know, but I've seen the document.
Firmament Russia document. Let's try that.
Here's the question I have. The only site that I can find him on is flatearthdoctrine.com. Why doesn't he give us the actual document link instead of just posting a screenshot of the link?
The link. I see the link.
Oh, we're having steak then.
Oh, I'm asking you.
I thought we were having curry.
You never said
you're
one.
on
Oh,
my
sorry.
copy.
Sorry.
Why do all post screenshots of things instead of actually providing the actual links that we can click?
Leo, the link is there. I see the link.
Just gotta say that there's a guy in this chat, Jay, who actually works studying the atmosphere for the government, and he has no idea about any of the stuff that you're talking about, Rocky.
Up for too long, but
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
That's you.
I wouldn't doubt
Yeah,
that. My
it's
nephew is
Jay.
sworn to secrecy. If you ask him about a military ordinance,
so
right now, he would tell you he had no idea.
Yeah, ask him what his clearance level is.
Right, exactly.
Are you hot mic and Jay? I think that's Jay, hot mic.
The university I worked for, they studied the atmosphere, the composition of things. We were primarily doing climate studies. Like I did an environmental chemistry thesis on this, and they would report the findings to the government.
Oh, Jesus!
And nobody mentioned anything about a firmament. I'm unaware of that. I walked through a lot of the literature while I was doing the research for that. I never found anything about any kind of solid firmament.
Can I just take back everything I've said about Lael's microphone?
So, Rakia, you say there's documents. We don't have any documents. There's none that I can find. I don't know what these sprites are, and if they exist or not. I don't know how that would prove the firmament and the gas thing. Gas does not need a container like that. This has been. It's amazing how many times this has been debunked, yet flat earthers still trot it out.
What's the debunk?
Because of gravity. So
You've done what, a 1-minute search, and you can't find sprites. No one's denying the sprites.
Because
and I'm not
because
saying
you
that's
haven't provided them. I mean, where are they? I can't find
Yeah,
them.
no, just to draw the line under this particular thing, sprites and enlightening and what have you. This is well-known phenomena, and it doesn't lend itself whatsoever to your cause.
Right.
Okay, so just forget that.
Here's a study: determination of sun out of a point on a firmament to simulate luminance distribution. This is by Vadalier P. Budak. I don't know. You know, you're telling me you did a 1-minute search and you can't find sprites or the firmament. I'm sitting in my truck on a cell phone, and I found this right off.
Well, no, I found articles relating to that, Rakia, but they've all been.
So this is a study with y'all like this because it has a bunch of formulas, a bunch of is luminance of the firmament point of a azimuthal angle A and at the zenith angle Z. Some of you smart people know all about that.
Could you provide the link?
Zenith. They're talking about firmament all in this document.
Hey, Ricky, I have a quick question.
They might be just talking about the sky. I don't know.
It's not
reject math, but all these documents have math in them. Why don't you reject the documents?
I don't know if the documents are true. I'm just on Google.
And also, Raki, could you provide the link for those?
Could you read the author's first name again? Or read the author's name again?
Parameters of 15 models of the CIE firmament, whatever that means. Gradient, Indetrix, A, B, C, D, E. Short description of model, cloudy, CIE, CIE sky. I guess these are different conditions that they're measuring what they think is the firmament.
And who wrote this paper?
Let me scroll back up. I did.
Link the paper.
How do you do
The
that?
CIA system characterizes colors by luminance, parameter white, and two color
Let me
coordinates.
get this answer, Farmer Boy.
Light and engineering, physical model.
I just put a link in the
Just hold it.
that has all the links to what he's talking about.
Yeah,
You just have
thank
to
you.
scroll down a little.
Yeah, and I've seen more than that. This isn't even one that I've seen. I've seen more documents in different countries.
I'm going to go now. Thanks very much for having me on.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor. I'll see you next time.
See you later.
Okay.
See you later, Prof.
No
Anyway,
worries. Let's do that thing, Jose. I'll stay on and I'll take the flatties one at a time.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Tomorrow, maybe I'll play the latest upload. I'll check it out and we'll play tomorrow, top of the show, sir.
No worries. Okay, see you then.
I'm not saying this is proof of a firmament. I'm saying there's documents of scientists talking about where the firmament is, how it propagates light, what it's made out of.
Back here.
They've definitely done studies on it, or called something what they've studied the firmament.
Bracket, for science to work.
So I guess that's my point.
So we need more than people talking about it. There's lots of things that people have talked about and even made papers about. The fact that it's in a paper doesn't really mean anything. We need tangible evidence, and there isn't any. Have you seen it? Have you got a piece of the firmament? Where is it? Is there no picture of it at all?
No, I haven't, and I don't have a piece of it. I don't know. It's up.
Then how do you know? I
don't even know why they studied it. I don't even know why they would waste government. I don't. I told you that. I don't know if these papers are real. I just know these papers from different countries are stating that they did studies on what they call the firmament. I don't even know if what I'm calling the firmament and what they're studying is the same thing.
To Major
Tom. How he does that.
Then, Rakia, why would you believe it? If there's no evidence for it, then why would you believe it?
No evidence, like gas pressure needing a container. I just believe the firmament is that container.
Well, no.
You believe in a container too. You don't?
No.
Then how does gas have pressure without a container?
Gravity.
So you believe in gravity, but not a container.
No, it's not a belief. It is gravity. What I'm doing is I'm not believing anything.
Which gravity do you believe in?
I don't.
Come on.
Believe in conspiracies like this. Are you just assuming?
Bullet bill.
Let's 9.8 meters per second.
Let's just get this.
Listen to everybody. 5 or 6 people.
Hey, Rakia, let's just get this straight. Let's just get this straight right now. The reason why you have such a problem with gravity is nothing to do with our understanding of gravity and whether or not it's incorrect. The reason why you have a problem with it is because it completely precludes the existence of a flat Earth, right? So you have to deny it. You have to then move forward and try and dismantle it, but you can't.
I don't have a problem.
Hey, really quick to the chat, please support a little bit more on clicking the thumbs up and thumbs down. We're doing good, 55 up and 8 down. But if you want to go ahead, we got 130 watching. That's excellent, Thank you very much for everybody watching. It's been an interesting episode so far. So
Big Blue,
please go ahead and do that. And consider becoming a member, becoming a member of the channel. For as low as 99 cents a month, you will be a non-troll member of the channel. Boom.
I'd like to make a point when my character was questioned about the firmament. So Blue said, well, there's no proof, you're just making this up. And then when I provide a paper by a scientist, y'all deny that paper and that scientist and that study. And it's just, y'all say the flat earth side does this, but then y'all turn around and do the same exact thing. I'm sitting in my truck. You're at your computer. I'm in my truck, and you said you couldn't find anything. The first thing I pull up has firmament in it like 100 times.
But what paper did you provide?
You haven't provided it. Where is it? Where's the link?
Well, Yeah. Hang on.
I just posted the link to it.
Yeah, you're still denying that it exists.
But I have a question for Bullet Bill before I have to go.
Thank you.
I have to go, but I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can you provide a scientific experiment showing gravity maintaining gas pressure without a container?
Please.
Yes, Cavendish. Yes, any footage ever of a rocket.
No, you didn't hear what I said. You didn't hear what I said. Okay, you ready?
Go on.
A scientific experiment showing gravity maintaining gas pressure without a container.
Big Blue knows all about that.
Hey, I'm sorry, hold that thought. I got a big shout out over here. Like, this is cool. We got Citizen 9 became a member of the channel. Channel shout outs. Citizen 9, who's hot micing? Like, little busy. Citizen 9, thank you very much. The link for your channel will be added to the description box. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And Stringer News 1 upgraded the membership to access unlisted videos. Thank you, Stringer News. Later today, I'm gonna create a post on the community tab listing the previous unlisted videos that I have listed during the past 2 weeks. I think it's 5 or 6, and I'll probably add another one today. So look up for the community tab on the channel, and it's gonna be only for the membership, unlisted videos and higher, the ones that are gonna be able to see that post. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that. Carry on, guys.
It's amazing. It's amazing that that people are still parroting this. Oh, you can't have gas pressure without a container stuff. This has been debunked and thoroughly explained.
What's the proof, though?
So many times. So many times, Chris. You're taking the piss. You are just taking the piss.
What's the proof?
Because you guys don't know the difference. You guys don't know the difference between atmospheric pressure and gas pressure.
No. What? I'm just asking for proof that gravity can do this.
I mean, Big Blue did the experiment on his channel. Did you not watch it?
No, he did not.
Yes,
no,
he did.
Didn't.
Without a container?
A sealed container. Chris.
No one's talking about sealed container. Is a cup a container?
Is it sealed?
No, a cup isn't sealed, but it's still a container.
Exactly.
It's not a container for gas pressure. Then.
That makes it a vessel.
Oh my! And on that note, I gotta go. Peace.
Yeah, why don't you?
Wait, guys, before you lose your shit, if Chris Berry is leaving, I want to allow him to give some final thoughts.
That's a new one on me. That cup's a vessel. It's a container for liquids and solids, just like you.
You're a fucking empty vessel.
Oh, I thought this
John,
was my final.
Please, nobody interrupt me. Final thought for Chris.
Disrespectful right there. Just like gas has to have a container to be to have containment and pressure as well. I just simply asked for an experiment showing gravity maintaining gas pressure. The ones I've seen, if you have gas pressure in a container next to a vacuum and you turn the vacuum on, the gas pressure instantly dissipates into the vacuum part. So I just want to see why didn't gravity maintain the gas pressure in that circumstance? And I do have to go. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much, Chris. And I want to say,
I'm sorry, Jose. Go ahead.
No, really quick. Rocky Alive, $4.99. Thank you for the platform. Keeping it real. Boom. Is this a breakthrough? Did we just have some progress and we get a super chat from Rocky in this channel? Boom.
I've given you money before, Jose, when you're with your sister and all that. I've given you money.
Yeah, man, that's true, bro. Yeah, I appreciate that. You're looking out, man. Appreciate it for this work.
I like how Chris Berry debunked himself in his own final thoughts.
Yeah.
Who said vessel is what I want to know. Was that Leo or somebody else? Hey, Leo?
Do you think everything the government says is a lie?
Leo, I want to be your friend, man. Don't say that again. Don't say vessel again.
He didn't say.
Hey, with what Chris was talking about.
With what Chris set out.
Chris literally said it's a container for liquid or solid, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know the context.
Do you know what he left out of that? He left out the word gas. And by the way, I looked up that link that Chris provided and searched it for firmament. You know how many times the word is used in there? Twice. Once in the paragraph abstract on it, and once in the title. That's the only two places.
Well, that's not the same one.
And both of those guys listed are Russian. Would you say their native language is English?
No.
So they don't know what firmament means?
My bigger question is everything the government, including NASA, a lie, Rakia? Yes or no?
Is everything the government does is a lie? No.
Every document that we find on the internet from the government and NASA, are they lies?
No.
Said
But,
no, Chris.
no. But misinformation and disinformation is the thing for sure.
How do we determine what is a lie and is not a lie?
That's the tough part. That's why I put a disclaimer. I don't know if these documents are real
People hope
or
Mike.
if they're putting out disinformation. You know, this could all be a disinformation act on me to keep the vision alive, and I'm fooled and tricked. I understand that. I'm not stupid.
Brakia.
Well, some would agree with that, but I don't think I'm stupid.
I don't think you're stupid either. I think you've watched flat Earth videos and you've gone down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But
yeah, just like all of them.
There's a way of getting out of this one here, and that is by not trusting literally anybody. Not trusting me, not trusting the government, not trusting literally any other person.
I don't.
That's fine.
I've trusted what I've used. I went out and purchased optics. I went out and purchased lasers that I didn't have that I thought would work better. I own a sonar, a radar, a gyro, and what else? See, I use and operate. I even use and operate GPSs, which I struggled with for a while, but now I know how that can work too. I had a Lorenz on my other boat that didn't use satellites. You know how I used to think cell phones work through satellites. Now I know they don't.
What's a Lorenz?
Allow me really quick. Allow me to say thank you to Keep It Clean for the $2 super chat. Thank you for the support. And he say the Earth's atmosphere is all the proof you need. Thank you, Keep It Clean. Appreciate your support.
Lawrence is a radar.
Are you talking about Loren by any chance?
Lawrence on a boat. Lawrence is that's a radar.
No, Loran is a ground-based radar.
L-O-R-A-N. Loran.
Loran.
Ground-based radar. I have a Simrad now. It's a radar system. That's good up to 70 miles.
Loren's not radar.
No.
So you've done some tests for yourself, I take it then, with some of the GPS?
Some.
Okay.
Maybe wrong.
Do you know what you've sort of done? Like, you don't have to. Don't worry about details or anything. But what, give me an idea.
All right, we got a new stream going. So you got content. You can choose who to watch. You can continue watching this. So look, Ranty is going with shutting my channel down as promised. Now remember the one time, maybe 6-7 months ago, Ranty was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go," and he did the stream. He said, "If you guys don't give me super chats to support me, I'm gonna have to go back to work and I'm gonna shut my channel down." And then he kept going. So is this gonna be another one like that? Who knows? So I'm not gonna watch it because we're doing this. But yeah, clickbait probably. But good luck to Ranty. Hopefully he continue creating content and having his channel, because it's always good when somebody creating content, whatever it is, whatever you agree or disagree. Good luck to Ranty. Hopefully this is a clickbait title and he's not going anywhere. So I'm just saying.
He's really shutting his channel down? What?
I don't know, but we got another half an hour to go, and then we'll do final thoughts and we'll get out of here. So maybe we'll be able to catch the tail end of the Ranty show.
I mean, it does happen. It happened with that guy.
Or maybe he's taken his drone out and he's actually seen multiple sunsets and thought, "Oh shit."
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's a planet. Uh-oh.
But why?
That'd be funny.
But I would say. So
Why is he shutting his channel down?
Well, that's why I say if you want to hang up and go hang out in there, I won't mind. Well, I'm good here because, dude, I'm good because Lael just gave me $2 more. Boom! Shout out to Lael. This super chat is for Ranty. Keep your channel up. You son of a bitch.
He made a challenge.
Hey, thanks for in behalf of Ranty.
He made a challenge with Riley and said that if Riley could prove that the emails he was claimed to have were genuine, he'd shut his channel down.
Oh my God, really?
People is saying it's clickbait. People say it's clickbait. He's whining about sleeping water or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It could well just.
Yeah,
be
it's one of those like, yeah, I was wrong. Earth is flat. Let's say Red Rhetorics put up a video. He said, I was wrong all this time. Earth is flat. Do you think that's gonna be like a real video? It's gonna be a clickbait for people so he can have fun and poke whatever. John Watson, thank you for the super chat. Ranty needs a hug, a terminal hug.
The one thing I'll say about Ranty is that he kind of irritates me a little bit because a lot of people say, oh, he's the nice flat earther. And he is in the sense that he won't just insult you and shout at you. But he is extremely dishonest.
Yes.
And I think people need to be careful when they're praising Ranty at all, because it's giving him a sense of credibility that I don't think he deserves.
Yeah, agreed. I'm going to sit and talk about him, but anybody who thinks he's just a nice guy really obviously doesn't know him.
Oh, hi, Raki. Are you back? Did you go?
Yeah, I had to step out on my job.
All right, yeah, no worries.
There was one thing I wanted to point out, and then I'll shut up and let you guys continue on, which was that, Raki, you were saying that, you do your own thing and you don't trust anybody, but I noticed that when you were kind of arguing or whatever a few minutes back, that you were literally quoting Nathan Oakley and Quantum Eraser's rhetoric verbatim.
Yes. Some of their arguments are good. Some of them aren't. I don't like their tactics, but some of the gas pressure arguments are definitely good.
Well, I obviously disagree that they're good, but I think that kind of goes against what you're trying to say, though. If you're basically taking what they're saying and you're not even like you're literally taking it word for word, you're listening to them and trusting what they're telling you.
No, that's not.
It's a good argument. It's not really.
You want to know how that came about? I didn't believe in gravity the way it was taught a long time before I even knew about flat Earth. So when I learned more about optics and about gravity, about gas pressure, it all made sense. And then when I found Nathan Oakley's channel, they pretty much were saying the same things that I already believed. So that's how that worked. Just in case you're wondering.
From my point of view, right? Nathan Oakley, he has got he got a bunch of cherry picked quotes here and there, and he's able to master some of the arguments and some of the points that are unanswerable or something like that. So he's able to master some kind of explanation. Now he still claims that it's an open panel, but when somebody with disagreement goes, that person is not able to present their whole argument because he keeps them in the track, so he can sorry for the word, but preach his rhetoric and give his concise, in quotes, explanation. So people is watching that and he's like, yeah, Nathan's got it because he's got it very solid, very mastered. Now in this channel, the difference is that the globe side, they are able, everybody's going to be able to speak more freely, unlike Oakley, that he is the one that giving the narrative, and then everybody have to either agree or he will kind of jump in it. He said, no, this is the way you got to learn it, explain it. Over here, it's more difficult for the globe side to have a concise explanation because this is not rehearsed, this is not planned. Everybody got their own point of view. Even though it's right, it's going to be a little discrepancies in the way that people explain things from both sides. And there are also flat earthers that are going to challenge that in real time. And I'm not shutting them down like you. I actually let people speak, and it's more dynamic, it's more real in that sense. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
I think that's mostly true. I listen to almost every show, and I think that's mostly true. But I'm smart enough to pick out the points. I don't agree with a lot of the things they say. I definitely don't agree on their tactics. But some of the points, that I've already had in my mind as true in my mind, they back that up. So yes, I of course I'm going to gravitate to that type of site.
They say,
I use gravity.
Wait a minute, I just got something to say to Jose just really quickly. Jose, I tried sending you a super chat, and I've tried altering the message as well. And yes, John, you're included at the end of my message with John Watson sucks. But every time I press send, it says message not sent, edit and try again. And I've tried John Watson is a dick, John Watson is backward, John Watson sucks, John Watson, and none of it goes through. It just says message not sent, edit and try again.
Maybe you should try telling them the truth.
Hold on, John.
No, he doesn't have to super chat.
So I sent you a PayPal for $6.66 anyway. So, but I'm just saying the super chat's broke, so it's just a bit weird.
That's weird. And I had a few super chats. Hey, look at that! I got it right here. Dean the Stingray sent 666. Do I got a comment in it? Yeah, give us your super chat comment now.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. It was please don't bitch and moan like a girl and get sucked into some childish drama like some people, and then Ranty and Riley and Flat Earth in general. And then I just put and John Watson sucks, but it just wouldn't send it.
That's weird. Thank you very much for the 66 on PayPal, bro. I got him. Yeah, I just received him.
Cool.
Appreciate that.
You should have said something nice about John Watson. Then.
No.
enough.
It costs too much to say something nice. It's cheaper just to insult.
So Leo, I wanted to thank you for today. I didn't know what to expect, but anytime you wanted to talk about, biblical. It's awesome. I asked Jose to do a show on that a long time ago. I wasn't going to be on it, but, I think it's interesting nonetheless. Whether you believe in the book or not, it's a great read.
Cool. Yeah, it was a good talk. Even though the panel may have not necessarily agreed with anything you said or believe in the Bible, I was very surprised with myself at how, and this may sound self-promoting, but I think I did pretty well at not attacking you.
Yeah, you did. No, it's tough. It's tough to do. Like, I didn't have a Bible in front of me. I'm just speak from my heart. I just speak of what I've learned or what I think I know, and people can take that as they want. But when they attack me, I'm going to defend myself.
Hey, I got Leo. Hit me up. Yeah, Leo. The super chat is for Flatter Dean. Whoa! Shout out to Flatter Dean and Kit. testing Kit. Yeah, Kit and Leo, it works. Thank you very much. Beeble, you've been trying to say, hey, wait, John Watson answered and it went through. Stingray sucks cocks. Damn.
No,
Did I?
I just had two things to say real quick.
Yeah, Beeble, go ahead, man. You're trying to speak.
Hey, now I will say, Rakia, I know you've me and you have had a little back and forth a lot of times on some of my videos and stuff, but I will say you are, you're a nice guy.
Come on, John, let Beeble speak.
You're probably one of the most respectful flat earthers that I've come in contact with. Even though I know a lot of times you'll attack me in some of my videos in the comment section, but I will say you're pretty nice to talk to.
Yeah, thank you. No, I get caught up. I look back on some of the things I say or do or the tone I use, and I'm not happy about it. Yesterday was an example, but not here, but on a different thing last night. But that's part of it. I think people have a misconception of people who claim to be Christians or people that are Christians, which is a big difference. That we're perfect and we're not. We fall short every day, but we try and recognize that and repent for that. That's what makes it a difference. So that's what I'm saying that I am. I'm not trying to push that you should do that. I just state what man I am. So I respect you and your family. You're obviously providing for your family. You're serving your country. You're doing your truth. I respect that to the fullest, but I don't mind pointing out what I think is wrong with that and keeping it real and being respectful when I do it. But when I'm attacked, I'm I'm human. I'm going to defend myself. I just sometimes don't like the way, the tone is a big thing,
Yeah. No problem, man.
I see the super chat is broken for you, Stingray. That sucks, man. What the hell?
I love the infinity effects we got going on here.
Hey guys, we need three subs for Piperot to get to 666. Piperot, that went up fast. 660.
Wow, yeah, she passed me.
So, Piperot, here's the link. We need three Piperot, please get a screenshot of that because we got 3 people here that is going to click the link that I posted, and we're going to get 666 for Pipe. Take a screenshot and make a video later of it, Pipe. Appreciate that.
I'm 370 away from 666. If you can help me out, Jose.
Yeah, still a little bit a ways away. Yeah.
Hey, Big Blue, have you seen P Parrot's recent video about the smelly ass?
No, I haven't.
You should check it out, man.
There you go. Refresh, Pipe. I think you got the 66. Check it out. Refresh.
I don't know what Gladys would think, but you know.
Raki, I've got a quick challenge for you, and I put this out to many flat earthers, and none of them have actually done it, and none of them can actually do it. But if you could do it, you'd halfway convince me to that something is not all as it seems, and that is GPS. Exactly that. But you'd have to learn how GPS works first, and then and then have some way to inhibit radio reception, except for in a direction, which you can do with a directional radio receiver that you can get for like $30, and a bit of software that you can connect to a computer, and you can tune in to 1350 megahertz and read the data packets, and also it'll give you the Doppler effect of satellites broadcasting from 12,000 miles high, moving at 14,000 kilometers per hour. And you can do this. Now, if that could be faked, you need to come up with a way to explain it, because those satellites do not transmit your position to you. All you have is the amount of time it took for the radio signal to get to you and their location. And you have to work out where you are from that. And that's the important thing. That's a killer.
Stingray, Leali's Fund gave me $5. See, Stingray? Super chat works. And what is Flat Earth Dean?
You don't want Flat Earth Dean at the moment. Actually, Flat Earth Dean can't even explain how GPS satellites and trilateration works on a flat Earth. He ain't that good.
What I'd say, Rakia, is there are things like what Sting proposed there. There's quite a few ways that you can test this out for yourself without having to trust anyone, without having to use NASA or any other agency like that. Check these claims out. So, for example, look at the sun through a solar filter and check, does it get smaller or bigger? Does it stay the same size? You know? That's just one example of many. Because that way you don't have to trust anyone. You can literally just find out using just basic equipment. Because honestly, a lot of these flat Earth YouTubers are dishonest. They have been shown to lie quite a few times. So I wouldn't trust what they say at face value. You need to check up on them. And if what they're saying is lies, forget them.
Congratulations to Pipe. She made it. 666 subscribers.
Hey.
And guys, if anybody want to join for the after show, please do so now. We still got another 10 minutes or so. Arif is here. Citizen 9 asked a question to Arif, who is here now. Why doesn't God himself step in and settle the argument once and for all?
He did. He revealed the flat Earth to people when the whole demonic alien narrative was falling apart back in 2015, 2016.
Yeah, and when Jesus walked the earth, everyone thought and knew that the earth was flat, and he didn't set them straight. God did.
Praise the Lord.
Yep.
I love that image you've just conjured up, you know, as if a bunch of people in back in whatever.
They kept pretty good records. I trust the paperwork.
As he, you know, herding their goats or whatever.
It fits my narrative.
Jesus went, by the way.
It fits my narrative. You can laugh all you want. You're trusting people sitting at computer banks telling you that their stuff 3.2 billion miles away. So there's no difference. No difference.
Let me read this comment. Let me read this comment.
You say like that, but it's actually based on evidence, right? It's based on measurements and observation. It's not just
Jesus
a story
Christ walking the earth. There's much more evidence for Jesus walking the earth than there is satellites being 3.2 billion miles away. I promise.
Can I read that comment?
I'm up on that thing that
I'm denying the evidence of the satellite, and you're denying the evidence of Jesus walking the earth, which only happened within, a couple thousand years.
Yeah, but that satellite has nothing to do with the shape of the air that we're standing on. Do you realise that?
I just want to read a comment.
GPS.
I just want to read a comment. And let me see if Stingray works now. Stingray, do it. No, because John Watson hit me up on the super chat and he said, Flat Earth Dean takes it up the Gary glitter. Damn. Hey, look at that, Stingray. I think that's gonna work out.
It is, but my message then was I love everybody very much, and that is not what my message is going to be now.
You see, the super chat didn't like what you were typing.
No, I can't be offensive. What John's doing is offensive. Mine weren't that offensive.
But when he say Flat Earth Dean takes it up the Gary glitter, how about that?
That's very offensive. Yes.
And Rakia, Jesus may or may not have existed. I don't think it's really important whether he did or not. I don't know what that's got to do with satellites or the Earth.
Well, the Hebrew cosmology does have a bit of a biblical basis, but what was that? I was just saying.
And satellites may or may not exist. I don't see how that has any reference to the geometric shape of the Earth, because I'm being told something disappears from bottom up from about 8 miles away from me at my viewer height, but yet I'm not being told how I can measure that accurately, even by using GPS.
Well, you can literally see it.
Right.
You use your eyes and
measure. Geometric.
What do you want to measure?
You could get a telescope. You could get a protractor.
Optics.
And you can measure it.
His Bible says it ain't so. So there.
We touched on some of that last night as well. Actually, that reminds me, there was something I wanted to ask you about last night. When you were saying about your surveyor friends and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever spoken to those guys about the Jefferson grid?
No, Jefferson grid. Explain it.
It's basically an old survey that was done, commissioned by Jefferson. And the idea, it was that when they originally tried to parcel up the United States into even blocks of land, hence a grid, right? So
I've heard about this. Yeah.
So the point with that is, right, is that this is old school physical surveying with chains and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point is you've got a symmetrical grid. Every parcel of land has at right angles. It's certain length on every side. But when they were doing that, they kept running into the problem as they were running north-south that their boundaries started to converge. And because of that, they had to adjust. And the cause of the convergence is the curvature of the Earth. They had to put dog legs in and keep straightening it up.
Can I just very, very quickly
there in real life, something you yourself can go and check out, because obviously you're in the States, I'm not. But go and look into that.
That would happen.
Wait, hold that thought, Lemonbird. Hold that thought, really quick. Then after you, Lemonbird, we get Bullet Bill. But really quick, I just want to say that John Watson is Gary Glitter. Thank you, the Stingray. Lemonbird first, and then Bullet Bill.
I think what's this was saying something too. Sorry to cut in on you, other dude from Britain. I don't know his name, but just real quick, that would happen from perspective as well, converging lines.
No, Lemon, it's physical.
Yeah,
it's actual measurements of the land. It's parcels of land that have been measured out. We're not talking about optics.
You're measuring the land.
If you're citing it with actual lenses, we are, and lenses reflect the light, and perspective would play weird tricks on the lines that you think are being wrong.
I think you sound like someone who doesn't understand what it's like to go into physical reality right now, to be honest.
All it is just refracting lenses adding weird perspective effects, and you're thinking that the Earth is actually doing what the lens says. That's incorrect.
He doesn't know what pulling chain means. Al?
No.
Just go and look up the public land survey system and educate yourself on how these things were actually done.
No
So
need.
you're telling us that we don't know
how it works, namely
No
by.
need. Just hand wave dismiss it because it doesn't fit your religion.
But
Okay,
you know
go
that
ahead.
it works by collimating refracting lenses. You see the problem right there.
We're not
Because
talking
making
about
what the
that.
lenses say like
We're
an
not
actual
talking
rendition of
about.
reality. It's not.
It's great that we know, you've memorized that little paragraph out of Zetetic Astronomy. It has nothing.
In essence, you know everything you need to know about it. You really don't need to study anything else. You know how it's going to operate.
No, you don't. You have no idea what you're talking about, Lemon.
Lemon, what would be cool is if you did a demonstration and brought evidence rather than using lemon logic to get to a conclusion that nobody else in reality observes.
All right. Take something that's close to you.
No, not a story. No, lemon, a story.
You're
using
interrupting
lemon.
me and not letting me talk.
No, I don't want that. I want I don't want a thought or a story. You've.
That's great. Can I get out my point?
No, go for it.
You have 5 things that are next to you left to right. The first thing is all the way to your peripheral vision to the left, and the 5th thing is all the way to your peripheral vision to the right. These things are separated like the longitude, latitude lines that you guys are talking about in surveying. Now, if these 5 things get further away from you and stay in a line, but get further and further away from you, guess what? They're going to converge. Eventually, they will merge into one as if they're one and the same object. Perspective is a hell of a drug. And so these things are not considered. They just think, but these things are converging due to as opposed to it being because of perspective. This is dumb.
You're right about that.
Last part was a perfect subject.
No. Just so seriously, Lemon. Most of your rhetoric is based upon the focal plane or focal point of the human eye. Now, the difference between the focal point of the human eye and a camera is that a camera focuses on a plane that can be observed, whereas the human eye has got a very narrow detailed portion of view. The rest is peripheral and motion. But when you shoot with a camera, all of that is in focus for that moment in time.
I'm gonna interrupt because I just haven't been able to get in here.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I'm just going. So I just want to say, see you later. See you later, Rakia.
Yep.
Nice talking to you.
Thank you very much. Bullet Bill, appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Later, man. Thank you.
Later, man.
If you look through a P900, you're gonna see Lemon Bird, and then in getting smaller and smaller, you see blah 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 blah.
A camera works by the same principle. It really doesn't matter whether or not you use the camera or not. It can only space apart light so much. So it's the same principle.
Let me just respond to that, John. Just 2 seconds. Let me just respond to that. A camera works in a very specific way, but do you know what the difference is? One is a cognitive interpretation of sensory data from a biological chemical mechanism. The other is pure sensor readout. There is no interpretation there. Your brain interprets what you see into something that you can comprehend. The camera doesn't have to do that. The image processor on a camera just reads the sensor values. That's it. That's why your brain can get fooled. You can make your brain colorblind really easy. For like 60 seconds, you can make yourself colorblind for 60 seconds. You cannot do that with a camera.
You're giving the camera resolution power it doesn't have.
That has nothing to do with what I just said, but well done.
Yeah, that's going nowhere. Lemonbird, can you expand on the word collimation as you cited?
Lining up the light before you bring it to the eye. When the lens collimates, it lines up the light in a different way than the eye would without the lens, and gives you an image that may not quite be faithful to the way that your eye would see it without the lens, making it drop.
Do you mean you see the problem I have with that?
The definition in the chat.
The problem I have with that is that collimation is not a distraction from the focus of light. Collimation is ensuring that your optics are absolutely dead on. It's a complete and utter misuse of the term collimation.
The light in a way that it wouldn't be lined up without the lens in place, and may give you a distorted, warped image.
That's just refraction.
Yes, but you wouldn't call that
Refraction through the
collimation.
lens. Yes,
You wouldn't call that collimation. Collimation is making sure that the optics are absolutely spot on.
Make sure that the lines are going through the lens in the way that they would go through your eye, which isn't always the case, and really can't be the case anyway because there's an additional lens there. You only have one lens in your eye. This is another lens.
Yes, I understand that. With the way that the word collimation was being used in that citation that you gave is completely the opposite of what collimation actually is.
Completely correct.
So what the fuck?
Hold on, Lemonberg. When you were in school as a kid, did you ever, like in science class, did y'all ever build a pinhole camera?
No.
You might want to.
I have a fun fact to throw in. Guthrie's chains used in surveying. Normal chain length, 66.6 feet to plot out an acre of land. Fun fact.
Acres are satanic. Acres are satanic.
The decimal point of the beast.
Surveyors are satanic.
Gentlemen and ladies. Oh, is there any lady here today? There might be a Lemonberg. Ladies and gentlemen, please, thank you for all kinds of fun today. It's been 3 hours today. How about that? 3 hours and 5 minutes, but I took 5 minutes just blabbing in the beginning of the show. Thank you very much, everybody, for your support in the chat. A few new members, I'll make sure to add the link to you to the description box. That was Citizen9. Thank you, Stringer News, for upgrading your membership. Thank you for all the super chats, and that includes Anamorphic Mind right now for $2. Lemonbird is the true Tiger King. Boom! Thank you very much, Anamorphic Mind. It was an interesting show. A little bit of a heat in the beginning. We had the Man of God back for the first time in a while. I know he will be back in the next time, hopefully a little more relaxed. You know, for some reason I lost my shit and I had to remove him from the call. But hey, it's not personal. It is what it is. You know, we go spontaneously by the moment. It happens sometimes. I want to give now a chance to everybody to give your final thoughts uninterrupted. So you will be able to speak your piece and promote what's coming up for you. Tell us if you learned anything today, and we will be back tomorrow. Anybody have to say goodbye so you can get your final thoughts first, or we go alphabetical order? I am sharing the link on the YouTube chat if you guys want to join while we do the final thoughts, and you will be recorded for the after show. So I'm going to hit recording, and we're going to go down alphabetical order and get saying their letters for today. Adric, you're up first.
Yeah, I've been listening the whole time. I haven't been. I only joined just so I could keep listening to the after show. No, good show again, Jose. Nothing to contribute because I didn't say anything.
It's all right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. John Watson, thank you for the super chat. Flatter Dean, Gargles, Scottish Balls. Oh, man. Oh, man. Get a room, two of you guys. Al K, final thoughts.
No surprise to see that Mind of God is still an asshole troll who can't answer a straight question, is only interested in trying to make people triggered, basically. I think just to echo what B-Ball said, you know, Rakia, although we don't always agree on everything, you're much easier to talk to than anybody else we've encountered, which is good because it is nice to actually have conversations rather than just shouting at each other all the time. And Lemon still is religious and has absolutely no clue about anything he's talking about. I wish he would go away and learn. I think that's about it. Cheers.
Cheers, okay. Thank you very much. Lemon Bird, final thoughts. You joined right on time.
While we've religiously relied on man's synthetic equipment, like these lenses are giving us an accurate view of the world when the horizon drops below the crosshair, and you have lines of parallel perspective interpreted as converging poles on a globe. So we really need to stop having this atheistic, materialistic reliance on man's crap, and go for revelation from superior sources that can see further than we can, like God or whatever.
Thank you very much, Lemon Bear. I appreciate that. Big shout out to the big shout out. Oh, you gotta mute, Charlie. Hot mic.
Or whatever.
Muting you, Charlie, for now. All right. Thank you, Arif. I appreciate that. Shout out to the boss. Tweet in the chat. Be ball for live. Final thoughts.
Hey, what's up, Jose? Once again, awesome show. Like I said before, rock your life. Yeah, you're a good guy, man. I like you. And Lemon Bird, you're not too bad either. I mean, even though you spout off some crazy off the wall nonsense, you're not disrespectful like a lot of other flat earthers. So, but I will say I'll probably be listening in on the after show, and I want to try and present something later on if that's possible.
Yeah, man.
That's all I got.
Cool. I appreciate that, brother. I'll see you later. I'm gonna skip a few people that just joined at the end and give you a chance after we go down the list if you want to speak something before we go. Let's go with Big Blue. Final thoughts, sir.
Hey, Jose. Good show today. Thank you. Atmospheric pressure, folks, is the weight of the air above you, and it is created by gravity. Gas pressure is the kinetic energy of a gas in a sealed container. They are not the same. And one final thing. The Earth is a sphere. That is all.
Thank you very much, Blue Marble Science. Shout out to Holulipa in the chat. Yeah, Holulipa, if you... Maybe one day we can have you and Lemon Bird or Rocky Alive to have a little convo over here. Holulipa, if I'm not mistaken, he's an atheist, and we can have a little religious, atheist versus Christian debate here. So we'll talk about it, Holulipa, soon. All right, let's go with Erebus. Final thoughts.
There are no valid arguments for the flat Earth.
Still.
Thank you, Erebus. Farmer's Boy. Final thoughts.
Blimey. Hey, blimey. Mind of God should really stick to that cesspit that's Ranty's hangout so he can go and float with all the other turds. Religion. You like that, did you? Religion. What's it got to do with reality and science and the world we live in? That's right, nothing at all. And all I'll say is, thank God I'm an atheist. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you very much. And Farmer's Boy, yeah, you were poked in the right places today with Mama God earlier. Good to hear you, man.
I really can't stand that guy. I mean, he is the lowest of the low. He really is.
I hear you, man. All right, Holulipa in the chat, he say he's an atheist with vast study on the Bible and Christian theology. Looking forward for that one. Hopefully we can make it happen soon. All right. Jay Aceto, final thoughts. All right. I guess we'll go with John Watson.
Hey. Well, yeah, you know me. Oh. Hey, what's that?
Sorry. Do you hear? Yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah, well, you know me. I like to keep it clean. But yeah, mind of God is a prick, obviously. But a thing that we've been keeping quiet is me and Blue are going to have a virtual arm wrestle, and we're still figuring it out. But yeah, it's going to happen, and it's going to be amazing.
Thank you very much, John Watson. All right. Leo is fun. Final thoughts.
Good show, Jose. Boom. The spheroid is true. Suck it in. The firm dominant.
Thank you very much.
The firm firmament it is circling, but it's a gaseous thing, not a solid rock. Boom.
Boom. Well, the only issue is the microphone is good, but for some reason it comes really hot and we hear all your breaths. It's like really hot on the mic. Just maybe, separate a little bit next time. We good? All right. No name. You've been listening. Final thoughts.
Today I learned that it's remarkably easy to demonstrate the dome, but nobody demonstrated it. And let's see. Oh, and that science has a bunch of flawed assumptions, but I was never told what those assumptions were. So love to hear more on that. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you, No Name. Rocky Alive. Final thoughts.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the platform. Enjoyable talking to Leo, and wish it could have gone on more. I mean, I think most people deny the Bible, which is their right, but even Christians deny certain parts. So I would challenge people who believe in the Bible not to pick and choose which parts they believe. Trust it for everything it says. It doesn't say the firmament is a gas. It says it's a solid, molten-looking glass. So look into it. Trust every word, and I think your life will be better. Boom.
Boom. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
The snicker is very telling.
Thanks, man. All right, let's go. Two more people. Sean Smith. I gotta run.
Thanks, Jose. I was awfully quiet a little bit earlier. I was out working, but I did want to have a conversation at some point with Rakia at some point, but we can do that afterwards. The dome over the Earth, I just want to know where the vent is, because we are constantly creating gases that are escaping from our atmosphere. The atmosphere continues to go out. But if we had a dome, then that pressure would actually build up, just like a pressure cooker. It gets too much pressure and it'll explode. So I would really like an explanation as to where this vent is and how we open it and close it. Other than that, hit the thumbs up, hit the likes, subscribe, and look for the Flip Flop channel as well. Jose Flip Flop. That's all I got.
Thank you very much, Sean Smith. I appreciate that, man. The Stingray.
Yeah, I missed most of the show, but I didn't die from my electrics, and I've ended up paying loads of electricians to fix my issue, which is now semi-fixed, but my wallet is somewhat lighter. But in terms of flat Earth, it's a ridiculous proposition. It always has been. And you can tell that purely from the amount of predictions and usefulness you get from believing in a flat Earth and a dome. You get none. And the ones that you could make are 100% incorrect. Whereas everything in reality and current science and technology is correct. And you can make predictions that work. That's how you test your understanding of reality. You make a model, you make predictions. The heliocentric model and current scientific knowledge, along with technology, always work because of it. And flat Earth, what have you got? That's right, nothing. Cheers, Jose.
Cheers, the Stingray. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody that was a part of it today. We'll do it all over again tomorrow. I'm out of here. This has been Jose J.G. Gonzalez. Boom. Thank you. You have been recorded. I got to run and stop the computer in the other side. Laters.
Hey, nothing to say. John Watson's a fanny.
You fucking cunt.
Language. Jesus, John. Jesus.
No, come on, stop that muck around. Say what